I don't know. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final of Speed Gaming Live 2022 here in lovely Herndon, Virginia. I am Apathy Duck, and I'm joined today by Emo Sorrow. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to watch this race between known gamers Maniacal and Aneb. This is this is going to be a sick one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't see the back of his head today, so there's not going to be no sweet Mega Man burns.
No, I know. But Andy, as he's more commonly known, is also an excellent gamer. So him and Maniacal will have a great match, I'm sure.
And we're also joined by A0 here, also in the SMZ3 tournament. He will be tracking for us today, the most important person. Now, I think we're going to get started. We got some time at the beginning to do some chit-chat anyway, so let's get this kicked off. But yeah, it should be a really exciting match. Andy and Maniacal, obviously, just like execution-wise, just incredibly solid runners, really good runners. What I'm excited about for this match is, I would say these are probably two of the more like cerebral players as well. Maniacal definitely like thinks about a lot of stuff, and this sounds a little mean, but it's not like necessarily that Andy thinks about a lot of stuff, but a lot of it just comes like innately to him. He just like there's like certain like routing things he do, and I just like I would never think about that. Like some of the routing stuff I've seen him do over the course of the tournament. So one thing I'm gonna be looking out for is Andy's done what I would say like some anti-meta plays here so far in the tournament, like opening up for Brinstar. So we'll see if we'll see that again. This is normal mode, so we're not going to see any suitless Meridia or Hell runs by logic, but they can still always do them. So should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Andy's got one of those brains that's built for rando, you know, both
So
for better and for worse.
So incorrectly built brains.
Well, you know, it depends what your goal is. But in this case, our goal is to find all the items in Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. And the ones we need. But for that purpose, both of these gamers have excellent brains. So
excellent brains.
I am less familiar with the combo randomizer.
That is true.
I'm quite familiar with the Link to the Past randomizer, but I've come to understand that, generally speaking, the thing that we would expect to see happen pretty much right away.
In mood falling incorrectly, yeah. That's
right. So we would generally expect people to go straight to A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Right. But Andy is doing the thing he did the other day again, which is he's going to go check a couple things in Brinstar.
Yeah, he's been doing this, I guess, all tournament. Like I said, it is kind of anti-meta. If you spike something here, it could be big. He got a mirror down here yesterday. Didn't really pay off all that much for him. His opponent ended up doing pretty much the same thing. It was kind of like forced to come here. But he didn't really like need it early or anything.
And again, we get
I hate this kid so much. Just a burning passion. Sword is probably like one of the, like, besides like a glove or something huge, like even like Morph. Sword is pretty high up on my list of things I would want here. One of the things you can do is like sometimes you want to just like do Uncle and escape right away. Sword definitely lets you do that. Maniacal gets 4 bombs on this tree pole. Went straight to Sanctuary coming here. Normally I see a lot of runners start with the Uncle play to get that free tree pole. There is the tree pole there too as well. So both of these Maniacal's certainly more on meta here, but I feel like most players start with, maybe it's just me and I just assume everyone does the same thing because it's obviously correct. But yeah, starting off here, so Andy's got his sword. It's going to be, really helpful early. So, yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I would say Andy has a little bit of an early lead. Maniacal will definitely get that sword. Well, I'd say definitely. You can do Bryn skip sometimes in this. It's a really big time save, so we will see what happens. Maniacal does tend to rush Brinstar, though, when it becomes available with Morph. So wouldn't really expect that.
I think there's a lot of early game checks in A Link to the Past that just in general are made substantially easier, quicker, less mentally taxing, right? I mean, one of the, the big ones for me, you mentioned Escape. I think the mini Moldorm Cave, right?
Sure.
Another one where, if you are not equipped with a sword or a hammer or some other sort of, infinite ammo weapon, right? Suddenly finding those bombs, collecting those resources, making sure you have a good stock before you go. Yeah, I know. Is a thing that people are concerned about. Once you get that sword, you're just sort of feeling like, okay, the first part of this game is on autopilot. I can do whatever I need to do.
Yeah,
There's really nothing to worry about.
Especially with Mini Moldorm, like, you need a lot of, like, early in the seed, you're looking for bombs and you're looking for money a lot of times. Just, like, Mini Moldorm, takes, like, 1 bomb to get in and then, like, generally 3 to kill all the Moldorms in there.
Yep.
So it just reduces the stress on, like, the amount of bombs you need. But, of course, this tree pole kind of also.
A million bombs. So.
Yeah, I believe that is the tier 3. So you won't necessarily get that again if you kill 4 enemies. Maniacal getting some missiles. Early on, so generally in these seeds, the way they start is you either get SM access with Morph Ball, or you get like a Dark World access with the standard Dark World stuff. And then the other thing besides Morph Ball you need is you basically need really Super and a Power Bomb. There's a Power Bomb there. There is a guaranteed Super and Power Bomb and Missile, I think, in Sphere 0. And he did check Uncle, right? He did first?
I believe so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be a little odd.
The responsible person to my left is indicating
Yeah,
that yes,
okay.
he did.
Yeah,
so.
once again, Tracker's definitely carrying the team here. Well, nothing in Kakariko so far.
I mean, I feel like you're always going to find at least something there, right? I think that it's one of those places where there's just so many checks. Yeah. So many checks that you're gonna find at least something, at least one good thing there. It's very rare that you don't.
So, getting this, I'm always happy but annoyed when I get the speed booster first. It does open a couple of checks. You can like go through Brinstar, potentially. If you get the Warrior and some Death Mountain, actually you can even like do some Morphless Upper Norfair. But it's just like you don't want speed and not morph. So it's always because just those checks become inefficient. But maybe you can do a Brinscape at that point because you have cleared some of it. So it's a bit annoying to get first. It's not as annoying as Screw Attack. That one's even worse because it opens up another check down criteria that's kind of like off by itself.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I because I'm less familiar with the SM side, I know like on the Link to the Past side, right?
Right.
Early Mitts and Moon Pearl is one of the things that you sort of hate to see because it opens up a ton of stuff, but in kind of an inconvenient way.
Right.
What's sort of the SM equivalent of that? Like if there's a set of things you get early that just open up a little bit too much, right, and make it too open.
Something like there are other times like it feels like the standard SMZ3 seed is like you find Morph Ball, then you go do some early SM stuff, you find your Dark World. Then like you get a suit, you do that, and then you get your other suit, and then you do the other area. The one thing that's kind of annoying is when you get like a suit before Morph Ball, because it's like not only did I open up all my normal stuff, I also have like potentially like Upper or Norfair, or maybe even like only half of Meridia because you need like Speed Booster or Ice to really get back to a Bot Wound. I mean, you're never mad to see a suit. You're just always you're glad to see it. It's gonna make the seat easier. But yeah, having a suit like early on with Morph Ball before you've done any SM checks could be a little bit of like, well, where do I actually go?
Right.
Honestly, the worst thing is super late morphs, and then you have like only 1 or 2 items, and you have all of SM, and it just becomes a pick'em of like who goes to the right area. Those are the ones that are the most annoying to me. So hopefully we'll see a morph early on.
Yeah. So Maniacal coming in with those gloves through the back of Escape. Andy actually making his way over there through the front of Escape. We'll see if he finds that key over here. Looks like he will. Yeah. So Andy actually going to be trading places with Maniacal here in just a second.
Yeah, going to the back of Escape like that is probably going to be a little bit more beneficial for Maniacal because I think there's only 2 in the front. I think there was the map up there as well. So when like I check the back like that and there's only like 2, I really deprioritize front of Escape. But this might just be Uncle, or he might be doing both. We'll see what I was saying about how he could put this off. It looks like he's just going to go for it. Just hearts. I think that was tier 2 now. I don't know if he killed enough stuff for that to be tier 2. I think that was tier 1 because the hearts was
It might have been, yeah. But
yeah, should have killed probably 1 extra rat or something if he was thinking about pulling this.
I mean, knowing about those hearts is not a bad thing. There are a few.
Yeah, but he already knew about it earlier.
Oh, did he already see the hearts from me? Okay.
That's why I can't think of like any situation where I'm going to. Why is he bombing these guys?
That I'm not sure. He might want to check what they drop.
Or maybe he just hates his bombs. Like he's just like.
Oh, he might have. Yeah, I mean, he might have been trying to do a faster setup to go get another tree pull here on the way out.
Oh, he's trying to get another tree pull.
Yeah,
right.
So
he wants the tier 3 again for the a lot of bombs. Right.
Yep.
Okay. He was just trying to be swaggy by trying to bomb him instead of just picking up the pots, and it did not work out.
Well, I mean, I think the nice thing about bombs, right, is they're doing work for you while you're doing other stuff. So I think
if you hit the guy,
well,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that was the plan, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was trying to be a little.
The plan was to be efficient, and had he succeeded, he would have been.
That would have looked really cool.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
had it worked, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
yeah, it looked like that.
Not so much. Meanwhile, Andy is doing a sad walk through the dam here. This is just one of those screens that I hate doing without boots. It just feels very unsatisfying.
Then he nudged the door, or didn't snap into the door.
Oh, you know.
Shameful. Another super pack. A lot of early ammo. It's always good to see. You like having early ammo. It's early ammo in fast Ganon is actually really big because a lot of times if you don't find charge, a lot of times like, oh well, like I'll go to GT and like I'll hope to get like a super pack or two in there. But since we don't have that, just ammo in general becomes way more important, and I definitely learned that one the hard way in this tournament.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Go mode super on Croc was not a fun time for me.
Not so good for you.
No.
I think we can see why Maniacal was so invested in trying to farm up for the tree pull there, because he is committed now to doing the front of escape with bombs.
Yeah.
Which is not terribly difficult, but it is resource intensive, right? And if anything goes wrong, it becomes very resource intensive very, very quickly. So, having access to that 4-bomb tree pull is, huge for doing this. It's about as convenient as you can make it.
Yeah, I can really see that sword paying off for Annie, just how much faster he did all this.
Is Maniacal...
I'm pretty sure the map was Zelda Cell.
Oh, okay.
He'd already narrowed it down.
He had counted.
I will assume he counted correctly. I don't know if Ace remembers if it was. Yeah, he's confirming it was mapped down there.
So it looks like we got 2 crystals, one of them red, and then a Metroid boss up at Hera.
Yeah.
I think Eastern was a red crystal.
Yeah. As far as the crystals versus boss, they're both required. The red crystals are obviously the most important.
Yep.
The only time the crystal boss thing matters is sometimes you want to do like an early Mother Brain. It's just like you're already an SM and you can do it if you have like all the equipment. It's never going to get faster. So, but that's it. Like it's we kind of just consider them to both be quote unquote crystals. The fact that one's a boss is.
Yeah.
I would say it's nice. The only other thing, it's nice when the bosses are in A Link to the Past because for whatever reason the boss token cutscene is shorter than even a crystal.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like the fastest one. Like.
Does it just not have the crystal? Because I know the crystal rise is truncated.
It doesn't have any. I think it's more like catching a pendant.
Gotcha.
Like you just catch it and you go, so it's super quick. So.
That's neat.
Yeah, I mean it's not anything you can optimize. It's just luck of the draw, and both players have the same thing. But it's always just like nice that like I don't have to stay here for nearly as long. That's convenient.
Yeah, no, that's great. So we saw.
Bee.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying the bee. The bee was coming for Andy.
Andy and this part of the world have a storied past.
I think everyone is a storied past of this part of the world.
Yeah, but very few people have had Solski like hire crabs to take a hit out on our boy, and Andy has definitely been the victim of some foul play in this part of Hyrule.
There's got to be a crab pun in there. He got pinched.
You're really
reaching.
Yeah, that's not good. How's your fly?
I'm sitting down, okay?
Later in the race, I'll tell the story behind that and why it's so funny for the people in the front of the audience. But yeah, no. So at any rate, the sword, paying big dividends for Randy. I mean, just again,
Randy.
the ability for Randy.
Calling him that the rest of the race.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, our good friend Randy.
Yeah.
Known gamer Randy. Yeah, no, the sword pays lots of dividends here. I mean, being able to fend off the crabs if you need to.
Yeah.
Being able to chop a bush to get out of the way of something if you need to really
Yeah,
quick.
again.
Being able, I mean, it all adds up. It's not, really doing much for him progression-wise, but just in terms of, I actually think even beyond just the speed and the safety, it's like the lack of mental fatigue associated with it.
Sure.
At the beginning of something like this is sometimes huge.
Especially at the end of a tournament. Like, I mean, we've been going nonstop for 4 days here. Both Maniacal got to, I believe, both of them got to the top 8 of the Link to the Past too. So they've had a lot of races. So, yeah, just having that sword and not really having to think about it early definitely is going to help a ton here.
Yeah, one thing I had not thought about, when coming here was if you are a gamer of some notoriety, right, and you have ended up late in multiple tournaments here, the schedule and the amount of work and time that you're having to put in is just, frankly, staggering, right? I mean, we were up incredibly late last night, right, watching another race from Andy. He's gotten sort of the late night shift twice, and Maniacal was also playing quite late. it is a grueling schedule. So I think, anything that you can do in a race like this to take a little bit of the mental fatigue off, honestly, at this stage of the game is actually kind of significant.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Just like, God forbid we have like a long seed here. It might get pretty rough towards the end. The other thing is we're kind of running out of checks here. I think we have. I mean, we could do some shenanigans. Well, minor shenanigans, Dark Room to get up to Death Mountain, but that's out of logic. And then we have Eastern, and then it's looking like that speed might actually be a thing. I wouldn't mind doing the speed check before Eastern here. Eastern is a crystal. When Eastern is a pendant, I don't mind just doing it because it's like I'm probably not coming back here. Like, it's pretty unlikely.
Right.
Especially, I mentioned this yesterday as well, that because we've added 100 locations in SM, but we haven't added the same proportion. Like, there's less important items.
Yep.
The value of any given check is less in this than a Link to the Past and randomizer. So for the chance for something like, Armos, Pendant Armos having an item, I mean, obviously it does happen, but those are usually the very gross seeds for SMZ3. If it's Pendant Eastern and like you're kind of running a checks here, like I don't mind just going in it because it's like it's probably something, and like it's very, very unlikely I have to come back. But for Crystal, you have to. So in this situation, I think going to Brinstar would be my choice here, but I also would have put off Sasha till I did Eastern. So for me, the waiting would be a little different, but.
I think when you're walking, I tend to be inclined, if I'm going over there, I'm just
I
I
like to do them at the same time. I've had some I had like go mode mitts on back of Sasha one time, which was quite the thing.
I think it'll be interesting because Andy's coming around the world from this direction, right? He might be a little bit more tempted, having already done South Shore, coming in here at this point. He might be a little bit more tempted to maybe make that Death Mountain play. It's not the fastest time to do it, but at the same time, he's only really getting 2 checks up there. He gets the save and quit point, which might be useful later.
It's 3. There's
the old man, and then.
No, there's one in Super Metroid too. You can do it.
Oh, right, because we get the portal there.
Yeah, without Morphball, you can do the first item in high jump. So it does add that. The thing is, that's out of logic, and like the Brinstar checks are 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 or 6, something like that. So the Brinstar is much more likely in this scenario, especially since he's already kind of cleared so much. He just got that speed. Like when Maniacal is going to be making this play. Maniacal also didn't do. I assume we're going to see going left. I mean, Maniacal also hasn't checked the 2 spots Andy has. But those are no more. The speed does put the top one in logic, which is not in logic in normal. But that was not. That was just an E-tank. So I assume we're probably just going left here to some of these Brin checks, which is again, it's annoying because like you kind of have to probably come here twice. So generally you don't want to. Oh, I mean, he's proving me wrong. He's going down first. This is interesting. I wonder if he's gonna. There is a short charge you can do to check this Mother Brain item. It's pretty tricky. You have to do like a short charge through this door here, and then you have to push down. I think it's frame perfect to actually drop down there, and you can like shine spark and get it. He's not going for it. So
that's a very short charge if it's what I now understand you
can break that. You can break that door with speed. So you go right to left, break it, and you come back.
I see.
So
gotcha.
It's not nearly as bad as you think it is. Pretty. I've only had it pay off once. It's really hard to do. So it does get this sword. Not like, does have it. Obviously happy to have it. It's not really going to pay Maniacal off nearly as much as it is Andy. I mean, he's going to be, we get to like Dark World sooner or something. But the thing is, we only have 1 out of 3 Dark World access items where Morph just opens up. Like, Morph opens up so much by itself. Like, I'm pretty sure it's true that Morph opens up more items than anything else by itself in either game. So that's why you see Morph first so often, and then you tend to have your Dark World in early SM.
Right. So it looks like Andy is going to make the choice to head into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, so this is right here. This is the first like big divergence here.
Yep.
So one of these guys is going to be significantly ahead after this one, and or
I mean they could both be
they could both find something.
Parallel progress. We'll see what occurs.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find parallel Oh, okay.
So it looks like we're going for it.
We are going for it. I think because he got that. Well, okay, he's just going to bail on it. That's the easy part, so I think if he's going to miss the easy part. Oh, it's interesting. They both do Behemoth Climb. This is like exactly the same. I mean, Behemoth does it, and he's 10 seconds. At one point, he had the world record. I'm pretty sure he got the first 40. So they're just as fast as each other. It's just a preference thing. Some people prefer doing the multiple wall jumps. Oh, well, there's your morph ball. If I was Andy, I'd bail right here. Well, no, that's not true. I would go check right because you kind of have to I would check right and I would bail after right. I don't want to do the rest of Eastern here once I find morph. Like that opens up so much. And I basically haven't really double dipped at this point. And we are going to see. So it's going to be very unlikely. Yeah, anything Maniacal finds down here. The problem is just Andy's also likely to do Brinstar at some point. Like he's definitely going to do Brinstar at some point. Yeah, Spazer's nothing to write home about. It's nice to know it's there. We can pick that up easily later if we just reset down out of here. He didn't save at the ship, so if he finds nothing down here, if he wants to keep that sword, he's going to have to walk all the way back up. So I think that was probably a mistake.
I think that's one thing that's always interesting to me about watching these SMZ3s, because we use save and quits quite a lot in Rando as a travel, in Link to the Past, sorry, as a travel mechanism, right?
Right.
And I think SMZ3 makes much more heavy use of save and quits or saves in Metroid as a fast bail option, right? Like it's sort of closer to the save scumming type of thing that we would do, on the Link to the Past side with, say, the mushroom or something like that.
Yeah.
But the time saves just seem huge for some of those things when you can avoid backing out.
The problem in Link to the Past, your progress is always saved as long as you hit save. You just don't reset your console in the middle of something. As long as you're saving everywhere. In Super Metroid, if you die or just hit reset, right? None of that progress is saved. So you have to tag yourself to a spot. And basically, whenever you transition into Super Metroid or out of Super Metroid, it sets your save point as the ship. So you have to if you don't have a specific save set somewhere, you have to resave. Right. And if you have one set at let's say you saved in Upper Norfair or something, if I leave and come back, that save is gone. So if I reset when I come back to SM, I'm still going to the ship. Space Jump is nice. This is at least gives. So when I'm saying he didn't reset, it's a mistake. Space Jump is at least worth enough that he would be saving this anyways, right? Just because he'll want it when he comes back to SM. Right. So he's going to have to work his way over to Eastern now to get his morph. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I would have done what Maniacal, like I said, I was preferring this play. So kind of unfortunate. I think this was probably the better thing to do here, but it's just going to pay off a lot for Andy. He's already got, and he's going straight to Brinstar, so he's going to get this space jump, assuming he doesn't die here. This is, pretty low health, so it's going to slow him down a little bit. Yeah. This is pretty tricky here with this acid. Yeah, to take no damage. That was nicely done, actually, to only take 12. Now, let's see what back of Gauntlet has for us today. No. That was some nice quick drops by Andy.
He is a gamer.
He is gaming. And then he does this. We get a nice little high five here.
Yep, so Andy
right in the door. That's pretty nice.
Yep, grabbing that spacer from the opposite direction as they crisscross.
Yeah. So this is a very, very long game. We're likely to be here for definitely over 2 hours, but this is a substantial early lead for Andy. He got the sword, and more importantly, he got the morph directly. So Maniacal's going to have to go all the way over here, and a lot of times in these if you get your thing a little bit later, as long as you're clearing things your opponent is likely to clear, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna get the time back anyways. The problem is he was only able to do half that Brinstar stuff, and SM doesn't have nearly as many warp points or anything. So Maniacal's gonna have to run back down through all this anyway. So this is just straight up time loss. That's why players really don't like doing early Brinstar at all.
So wave beam on Andy's side.
Yeah, wave spacer is really, really nice. Matters a little bit less until you get charge beam. Honestly, as far as mother brain beam, wave spacer is good enough to do enough damage that you're not going to be sitting there for years. And he's already got 25 supers, so assuming we find charge, this beam will be plenty for the rest of the seed. But it's always nice to see plasma. Ice has a bunch of utility. Ice also gets in your way. A lot of times you don't want to see ice early just because you're freezing everything, and that can slow you down. You'll see players just turn off ice early if they don't need it. Oh, there's that morph ball. Let's see if he bails. Yeah,
Yep.
I like this bail. How much did Andy keep going after rights, or he just bailed after right?
I think Andy went as far as the big chest.
Then, yeah, I believe that's correct. Yes.
So
a little. He's getting a little time back here. So yeah, you can see Maniacal not too far behind. You know, he'll be able to save. Yeah, I mean, I'll save a little time from some of these checks, but like again, he's gonna go right. I don't know if this is. This is at least a landing site, which Andy wasn't able to do. We'll be able to do when he comes back up here. Pretty unlikely for Andy to. Sometimes this one's really easy to remember if you don't get a can fly or speed till very late. But Andy's gonna have it. He's gonna come back up at some point. So I really doubt this is gonna get ice. It's just a missile.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know what can fly is, when you just say it really casually like that, because it's actually a term in the logic, right? It's literally a function in the logic. My understanding of it, just to check myself, right, is so we have speed booster, right? So I can shine spark.
Right. I don't think speed booster is a can fly though. I thought it was just space and
okay. So it's like omnidirectional. You have to be able to go like freeform.
I believe basically. So. I think can fly is just strictly.
So it would be space jump and bombs
yeah.
to bomb jump. Okay.
And then there's one location, GT missile is hard locked by space, just because that's the way it's in the vanilla. Like, doesn't actually make sense. You can get over there, but just like if you went in the vanilla game, don't have space jump and you get over there.
There is an ice rod.
Yeah, ice rod is early. You can just go ahead and mark Turtle Rock as a pendant right now, Ace, just to get that out of the way. If you find it first, I swear to God, it's every time it's a pendant. So.
But what if it isn't?
What if it isn't? Now is Maniacal going for? So this could be a pendant. Generally, what kind of is settled into the meta is you just go down to Kraid and you can pause and check Dragon, and you can pause and check Ridley, and then most people just Kraid is so fast and has like 4 items back there. Most people just blind kill Kraid, and if it's a pendant, then whatever. Like it's the world's quickest pendant dungeon at that point, and it's pretty loaded with items. Just doing Phantoon blind is surprising. It does get that ice rod out of it.
Picking up that small shield when he could see it is an interesting choice to me.
I do like having one shield, to be fair. Like
there are 3 of them.
Yeah, there are 3 of them, but I do like having the one. So we're going with this short charge here. It's a little. No, it doesn't get the mock ball, unfortunately. There's our plasma. So that's Spazer. Man, that's when Spazer and Plasma are right next to each other. You just feel bad for Plasma. Andy making his life harder by killing those guys and then not doing the D-boost. Shameful.
Poor Andy.
Yeah, I know. Imagine not knowing tech.
No, it's not that. You're just very mean to him.
Yeah, I know. So we got a male. Maniacal is in his Phantoon fight. Gonna be a little funny if this is a pendant, but might be if this is a pendant and Maniacal finds something here, then it's gonna be really big. Only got one. Looks like he's only getting 1 missile off on these. It's a bit odd.
I mean, again, I wonder, how much of that is just, again, these guys have been playing a ton of games, right? And, when you get to some of these fights, and again, I'm far from an expert in this game.
You killed Phantoon once.
I have killed Phantoon. But knowing what the how much rhythm goes into doing these Dopplers, how much sort of physical dexterity is in there. I mean, at the end of a long week like this, it might be a little bit more difficult, to just nail it on cue.
That is true. I will say, if you think that means I'm going to be nice to these guys because of that, that is.
If I thought you were going to be nice, I would be concerned.
Yeah.
For your well-being.
Yeah. Does finish Phantoon off here. Silver arrows for Andy. I don't think anything. So we have space jump. We had that space jump. We had silver arrows. Nothing of like progression value really down here in Brinstar. I mean, like, space jump could be logically required or even like hard required in some way. Right now, it's only access into. No, it's not. We have speed. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff that's really nice to have, but there's nothing that's required. So because Maniacal did some of Brinstar already. And then again, he's in the finals. It's just like when you're in the finals, I guess, especially against someone like Andy, you just kind of have this mentality like I'm just gonna send it and like whatever happens happens because it's like I'm playing a strong opponent. Like you kind of have to be aggressive. So because Maniacal already did some of Brinstar, got nothing out of it, he probably feels already a little behind. So he might be going for the full Brinstar skip, and we'll see if that's actually doable here. The Master Sword, again, we're finding a lot of stuff that's like you're not gonna like kick out of bed, but like it's just not required. I mean, we do need another sword, so like. But it's not immediate progression whatsoever.
No, but I mean, again, it is setting us up for, depending on when Andy goes to wreck ship, and where the other swords are. I mean, it is setting us up for a substantially more convenient Dark World if we end up there in the near future. And, I think, with Phantoon being a crystal, we had to come down here anyway.
Right, yeah, it was.
So, we... at the very least, we are making progress here. This is far from
Andy skipping missiles. Did not learn anything from my life experience.
How many missiles short were you? 10?
I was 2 packs or 1 super short. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So the one thing about you did say Phantoon is required. The thing of a Phantoon, it's kind of like a reverse dungeon where like the boss is in front.
Yep.
So like this all of this stuff is like skippable. I've definitely seen players who come down here and just like try to skip the top. You can skip the top. You can skip this wreck ship E-tank. This one's pretty slow to get, and then you can also just skip bowling alley, which would be 2 or if you scout the top one, it's only 2 that you're skipping. But you're saving that whole cutscene. So there are opportunities to get aggressive here. So just because Maniacal finds something back here and Andy has to kill Phantoon, doesn't necessarily mean Andy will come all the way back here.
Oh, no, for sure. But I think,
Okay, there's the mirror, so that makes the Brinstar loop pretty much required. I guess technically we don't know if Swamp is a crystal yet, but it seems... Well, I mean, we haven't seen any of our pendants yet, so... But... It's pretty unlikely for Mirror to be sitting there and just not need it at all. That would be kind of weird. But there's all, as I said, the full burn loop is required. It's possible since Maniacal did that left stuff. Maybe he'll try to do Blue Bryn down into like Red Tower or something and skip the rest of it. Did Andy? Andy didn't do the Criteria Super, did he? Oh, he just went right by. Oh, he's low on bomb. Okay, that's why. Yeah, he doesn't. You need at least 3 to get in there, so that's unfortunate. He is going to orphan that. So that's a huge thing that if Maniacal does come through here, may be able to pick up. So yeah, I just said early on, I said Andy had a lead. They're now diverging early. Now that they've split, like it's kind of hard. Like I know like Andy had a lead early, so I kind of am assuming he's still like quote unquote in the lead, but. It's just really going to depend on what we find here.
I mean, it's all theoretical, right? If there's something in the location that he just skipped, then he's very much not, right? If there's nothing there, then he probably still is. I think Andy's got some interesting choices coming up too next time he's in Link to the Past, depending on what we find, right? We're a fire source away from Hera. He would love not to go up there until he has a hammer or a hook shot or something that gives him access to more of the mountain. But at the same time, maybe that's the play you make and see if you can spike something. You know,
and Hera's not even guaranteed to be completable right now. We don't have a hook shot. We don't have a fire source.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. If we find a fire source, here in the near future, you start having to ask the question.
Yeah.
So.
We still have, we still have Red Tower. We still have Kraid. We have some. The high jump area in Upper North Air to do. So there's still. Oh, that is real bad. Yeah, I don't think he took a safety save. And oh, he did. He did. Okay. Now I believe this was probably before. Yeah, this is okay. Based on his little map up in that corner, this is right before he. This is common because Spiky Brim of Death is named appropriately.
Yep.
Difficult. Really, you just make one mistake and there you're going to die. So he really didn't lose that much time. He also had a little issue in Attic, so he's got a chance to kind of clean it up here a little bit. Also, because he's able to skip the worker robot because there was nothing over there. That really takes a lot of time. So with that save, honestly, I mean, he did lose the bottle. If for some reason that's the only bottle and that's required, that's bad. But besides that, he really didn't lose too much because he was just in one room after this. So Certainly not something you want to do in the finals, but like for a second I thought that was devastating, and it's only like 30-second time loss.
Yeah.
Andy is coming here, does get that ice red, so this is one of the potential big things. Maniacal going for this scout. I just don't bother scouting this when I have speed. I just blind collect it. Oh, and it's Varia.
Well,
so that opens a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was starting to think like we are getting pretty low on checks here, and we haven't really, gotten any further to like really the only thing that's going to open up a significant amount of checks at this point in A Link to the Past is our dark. Oh, and Mitts. Oh, wow.
Yep. So
never mind. So we're only. Yeah, this is interesting now. So now with those mitts, I'm actually even less inclined to do any of the mountain than I was before, just because.
Oh yeah.
I'm a hook shot away. Well,
hook shot or hammer
and Moon Pearl away from.
Well,
I'm saying hook shot because of hook shot cave to do
well,
all
sure,
of Death Mountain.
Sure.
Yeah, hook shot away from just being able to do Death Mountain all at once.
Yeah, but I mean, if I got a hammer and I had all of Paradox and all of that, I mean, the temptation is definitely still there.
Yeah.
It's less ideal, but it's still a lot of density.
And like I think it's pretty rare in A Link to the Past randomizer to go to Paradox and there being nothing there, just like so much stuff over there.
Here I know it's diluted a little bit more.
It happens a lot where you go to it's like, oh, I just opened a Paradox. This has to be it. It's just like there's nothing there. Like
yep.
There's nothing at all.
Yeah, I do notice a trend, right, which is that the more of these that I watch, I think there's this tendency, because relatively speaking, so few items open up so much of SM.
Right, like the Varisuit just opened up so much for us.
Right, so it seems like there is this tendency, especially as you start acquiring more beams. Andy's fairly well equipped in that regard.
Right.
It seems like there's a tendency you kind of get in SM and barring a hard block.
This is actually really bad for Andy. He might die here. Okay, he's trying to get in the rhythm here. He doesn't have charge to pseudo screw. He can only take 2 more hits. I think this enrage. Okay, rage is over. I should be able to finish off this fight. He's also in risk of getting into you can kind of get into no man's. So health bombs start at below 39.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, so you can be at certain healths where Phantoon is not guaranteed to drop you health, but you're still within 1-hit KO territory. This is getting okay. He's just forcing him off screen. This is an exciting Phantoon fight. I haven't been this on my seat for Phantoon in quite some time.
It's a little bit spicy.
Okay, getting some health now. Ooh, back down to all right. All right, Andy is getting through it. Andy is sighing about his Phantoon.
This is one of those things that cannot feel good right now.
No. This is pretty scary. Very nicely done. Getting through it. Yeah, it's one of those Phantoon is neither of these guys are new route runners, so new route runners will just put in hundreds of hours of practice onto Phantoon, and it becomes pretty once you've done that much, becomes even doing a 70 health Phantoon really isn't that scary. But both these guys are pretty good at the Dopplers and everything, but all the different flame paths, there's so many things to do when you're in a low health situation like that for a non new route runner is can be pretty terrifying. I know, for instance, Maniacal, when we play triple bingo, doing early Phantoon is pretty standard. He will always pick up the reserve tank just to give himself a little extra buffer.
Yeah, Super Metroid, in my experience, also controls a vintage flight simulator.
It controls like that until you're good at it, and then it controls beautifully. There is a steep learning curve, but once you start getting into the flow of it, it's kind of a really beautiful game to play and watch.
I believe you, and yet I don't.
I know. It's so funny. People always say same as controls a 10,000 pound mech. And it's it's true until watch Zost or Cutie or Zenny or any of them play. It's just.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like Cutie also has permanent hand damage
because
of the way he holds the controller. So I'm not sure that you can use Cutie as an example of how beautifully the game controls.
He literally
when he has now a claw attached to his right arm as a result of this game.
He literally DM'd me right before this trip and asked me about my hand pain because he's my hand's been all screwed up. I'm well, that's that'll happen.
When you're triggering one of the buttons with your index finger and your pinky crossed, it's that's what'll happen. So. Shocking, I know.
I would try to imitate it, but I'm pretty sure there's a no gang signs rule on for SpeedGaming.
When I did a casual playthrough of this like a year or so ago, I unknowingly decided that the control scheme that made sense to me was apparently the one that Cutie uses.
Oh God!
And I had the claw, and I injured myself gravely. But I refused to stop because it annoyed him. So
yes, that is true.
it was worth it. The pain was worth it.
The pain to me was worth it. Is what you're
yes,
saying?
I have no regrets.
The psychic damage.
It was worth my physical
Yeah,
pain.
except your hand is doing this constantly now because of your cutie grip.
It's true.
You got permanent Italian hand.
I got the cutie claw. It's a real thing.
Yeah, this is the spiky room death I was talking about before. The problem is you can KO through those things, which just means you drop through them. It has to do with like turnaround animations super easily when you don't have a suit, and those things do 200 damage without a suit. So it's really, really easy just to completely eat it there.
Yeah, I feel like, Super Metroid in general, A Link to the Past, a lot of the hardest rooms, with a couple of exceptions, are actually, they're hard to do fast, but they're not actually that dangerous if you take your time.
Yes, that's
right?
true.
And I think in SM, by comparison, there's some rooms in SM that are just hard.
Yeah, they're just straight up difficult. Yeah,
and
that's definitely true.
It doesn't really matter, whether you're trying to go fast or not. They're just dangerous as heck.
Yeah, that is definitely true, especially like in rando. Like honestly, like Brinstar is the first area you're supposed to go to, just in like a playthrough of SM. So, but like the game expects you to make 2 loops through it because like there's those big side hoppers and everything. You're supposed to come back with power bombs later. So when you do it really early in the rando, because you obviously just get power bombs somewhere, like a lot of the rooms are designed for you for like when you have nothing, and then all of a sudden you're in a room that was designed for you when you have like Varia suit, power bombs, grapple beam, wave beam, ice beam. You're supposed to be a lot more kitted out. So that early Brinstar loop is actually really terrifying.
They're adjacent, right?
Yeah.
I think in A Link to the Past, you're in a situation where the hard parts of the game are in a completely separate section of the world from the from the easy parts. And in SM, that's just not the case, right? It's and because we're concerned about clearing efficiently, right, and getting through, it's very easy to run through those spaces that are a little bit uncomfortable.
Like the back of a Volvo.
No, we're not doing that.
Anyway, and he's getting his mitts, so this is our first look at Kraid. Like I said, this just tends to be a blind kill. I'm pretty sure we don't have any confirmation whatsoever on the pendant boss status.
Yeah, so this is the second blind boss kill we've had in SM so far for these runners, right?
Yeah. Well, Maniacal did. I don't think Andy ever. I think he just blind killed Fantoon.
I just think he ran in. I don't think he checked.
Yeah. Definitely a little weird.
Yeah. Also, it was a Volkswagen, not a Volvo.
Oh, was it? I'm glad you know exactly what I was talking about. Okay, Fantoon boss, so it is required. But again, this is the one that doesn't, this is pretty meta. The Fantoon thing is definitely a little oddball.
Yep. So one of the things that is interesting, again, as a sort of watcher of the Super Metroid stuff more than a player,
and a listener to of complaining,
and a listener to of shouting and angry hammerings on tables and these sorts of things. I think one of the things that's really interesting to me is, and you were mentioning this the other night, is that there's a difference in the way that the different Super Metroid randomizers handle opening up the areas that would typically be associated with a boss kill, right? So So in SMZ3, even though we have randomized the boss completion reward, the area unlocks, right? So wreck ship turning on is still attached to Fantoon.
The tokens don't actually do anything besides opening up G4, as opposed to in some other randomizers. Total did say he thought about it, but especially things like Ridley, going down to Ridley and just isolating that would just be awful.
It feels really painful.
Yeah.
So both runners now having that Varia suit, and so speaking of Ridley, that Norfair area. I don't know exactly what else we need to get down there, but we can survive it.
We can do to get to lower Norfair, unless you want to do high jump lists, which I'm pretty sure both of them. Maniacal definitely does pretty sure Andy learned it for the co-op. I don't know if he's practiced it recently. It's pretty difficult to do. We either need well, logically we need gravity we need gravity. We already have space jump. If they have high jump, they'll definitely do it. That lava dive is definitely in both of these guys' wheelhouse. The fact that it's required in hard. So definitely something we can both do. Or we can give a flute, and it'll just move with the flute to Misery Mire and get an LN that way. So, yeah, here if I was playing the Seed, I would be looking to go to Lower Norfair. Well, I'd be looking to go to Norfair because that looks like where the Seed is telling me to go. But since I'm already there, like I want to do Lower Norfair while I'm there. So I would be looking probably to be heading towards Lower Norfair and preparing for a high jump list here. So, but depending on, like, the problem is our kit for Lower Norfair is not that great. I guess we have Plasma. Yeah, we have Plasma, so we should be fine. Plasma in space should make Lower Norfair just fine. We have 30 supers for Ridley, so yeah. Doing a high jump list into Lower Norfair after an Upper Norfair clear definitely makes a lot of sense here. There is some small efficiency to doing Upper Norfair after Lower Norfair. That's like the way it's done in Hundo, but it's a very, very small efficiency, and like when you're this low on equipment, generally you'll clear upper first, just like hope to get something, especially like a screw attack or high jump boots, anything like that, or even gravity would help in Lower Norfair, or charge beam, anything like that. So we'll see where we're going. I really suspect, yeah, we're already starting to see some. It's just 5 rupees. Oh, this is when I was doing the actual Hundo strats here, going down to Crocomire. I would say Crocomire is one thing that players tend to want to skip. We kind of call it the pendant dungeon of Super Metroid. So it's weird that Maniacal is. Was there something on? There was something on the Croc escape, or did he not scout it? Oh, gravity is here. Okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. That makes... I was like, why is he going this way? It was so...
That feels worth.
Yeah, so now Lower Norfair is just straight up in logic with that gravity suit and space jump. The only other thing I would consider... So, I think here I would bail. Because the issue is... Well, A, we don't know what Mire is. You really don't want to do 2 lava dives to Misery Mire if you can avoid it. We just got something huge, gravity, right? That opened up a whole other section of the game. So in this situation, I would have gone around, got that gravity, and gone straight to Meridia. Because we have speed, I can get all the way through there. I have mitts. Sometimes I want to put off Meridia for Dark World access. But since I have mitts, Moon Pearl gives me normal Dark World access, so I'm not worried about that in this situation, right?
Yep.
And hopefully, I'm like even if I just had, I guess Maniacal doesn't have that mirror. Just even having mirror, you can do the Mire Shed mirror glitch, right, to pick up 2 items out of logic there without the Moon Pearl.
Plus then head into desert, get a couple checks, see what's going on there.
Yeah, here I definitely wouldn't. I mean, Maniacal might still decide to do Upper Norfair, but yeah, I would have just taken that gravity. I wouldn't have done Croc or anything, and I've just seen that gravity just gone around and then just gone straight to Meridia. So I think a little interesting doing Croc here. We'll see what Andy did. Andy's going to see the same thing. We'll see what he decides. It is also, I've mentioned this several times, it can be hard when you're like, so if I'm coming down here, right, I'm playing like, okay, I'm going to do Upper Norfair, and then I'm going to do like a high jump list to Lower Norfair, and that's my plan. I find gravity, which just makes that even easier. It's kind of hard to then like mentally switch to like, oh, I found something big, I'm going to completely change my plan all of a sudden. So, we'll see what Maniacal ends up doing here.
Yeah, that's always a really interesting thing. I think there's that, like, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like that, sort of mental inertia thing where,
that's probably
you get, you're always like taking the idle moments, right, to plan your next 5 moves, right? So that way you're not having to think in the moment. You've got somewhere you're going to go. But the flip side of that is that occasionally you get something that should change your plan, but you've been thinking about that plan for so long that you just muscle memory the next step in it.
With these guys being, that's something that I think Andy is really good at. Is like I'll see him like just like auto switch stuff without even like like none of this mental inertia stuff.
Yeah, he's a very adaptive.
This is some sort of weird
guy, I think.
Okay, I thought Maniacal was setting up for some corrupt shine spark I've never seen. He just stored a shine. Sometimes you just push down. Oh, I thought he was going to do a sweet D-boost off that Ripper to get the Indiana Jones. That would have been awesome. I think he also forgot he had space jump. Shine sparking up there because it's people forget how slow. Like if you think bonking in A Link to the Past is bad if it was 70 frames, the Shine Spark it's like it's like a second and a half. It's huge.
Well, you get stuck at the end of it too.
Yeah,
I mean, is that the second and a half? Is it that long?
That's the bonk. Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it was anywhere.
Yeah,
close
that's
to
why
that
there's
long.
a lot of like you'll see a lot of new players do like some like weird Shine Sparks that aren't that long, and it's the same thing like that. Like it's like 4 tiles.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of Shine Sparks. You have to go a certain minimum distance for the spark to save you time, and especially like when you're Shine Spark, you have to stop and charge it and then start going. When you're at full speed blue suit, you're moving at the same speed, so a lot of times it's just faster just to like jump through stuff.
Right. It's very interesting.
So we'll see when Maniacal's going. The funny thing is he went and grabbed that gravity suit. If he was planning on doing Croc, there was no reason to rush it. He could have just gone on the way out later.
So I was gonna wait until the.
Doesn't Maniacal have? Oh no, he doesn't have plasma. I was like,
No.
you just shoot these guys.
Yeah. I was gonna wait until roughly the hour mark, but I think we got a little momentary lull here. So I was gonna tell the story of why I asked Duck about his fly. Because I figured.
I so hope like Moonpour's right here.
I figured that would be entertaining for everybody. So, it was the first or second night here of SGL, and we were in known gamer Solski's room, and we learned that Apathy Duck 07 does not know how to operate pants, and so I think it was like something like 8 times that your fly had fallen down.
Let's not hyperbolize
over
here.
the span of about 25 minutes. So it was pretty.
Excuse me, I have to interrupt you to point out that we just got the shovel, big game-changing shovel here in Lower Norfolk that's going to stop this horrifying story from proceeding.
Maybe we will check the shovel spot and dig up the Book of Mudora, which could teach you how to operate pants.
Is that what's in there?
It could,
how does that help you read tablets?
It's.
Is that's what's on the tablet? Is how to put on pants?
Have you never seen an encyclopedia? They cover lots of things.
It's not an encyclopedia.
It could be an encyclopedia. You don't know what it is.
It's a dictionary. That's how you can read a tablet with it.
Okay, well, if I
you just think it's a cooking recipe, and all of a sudden Link knows how to read Hylian or whatever it is?
If I look up zipper in the dictionary, I bet from the
picture of my face
a thing that you pull up from bottom to top,
yeah.
and then it holds your pants closed because you pulled it all the way up. Yeah, I bet you could figure it out from the dictionary too. So I think either way, like the book could help.
Okay.
Yeah.
You done?
No.
No.
I'm done for now.
Yeah. All right. So Maniacal we're getting the full clear here of Upper Norfolk. We'll see if he continues down in Lower Norfolk. Like I said, like. Before that gravity popped, I thought the Lower Norfolk made sense, but gravity just changes everything. At this point, I'm now like thinking about this double dive of like if I had flute, it doesn't matter at that point. Like, when you have flutes and mitts, you don't even do the lava dive. You just flute there.
Yeah.
At that point.
So powder is a little bit more interesting now on top of that shovel. If we can find ourselves a hammer. There's now a nice route to sort of, loop in a few of these fetch quests. We have the mitt, so we can do it at the same time as Smiths.
So we can get Moon Pearl at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to need that. But
the problem is we got a bunch of fetch quests now that, right now the powder is not. Okay, so Maniacal's, if he's going up here, he's not going to Lower Norfair. And he also didn't, because he came down to Croc. He hasn't checked Cathedral either. So, I think Upper Norfair is also, like, people think like, oh, Norfair is a boss, so like, it's efficient to do it. Like Upper Norfair really doesn't have a boss or anything in it. It is something that is like can be skippable. I don't like with that gravity. Like I don't think there was necessarily a reason to do Norfair there. I'm just playing a little safe. I think. I didn't quite see what that was. I think it's boots.
Oh baby.
I think it's boots. I think
that is boots.
Okay, let's link to the Pat's boots. Not the high jump. Not the high jump boots. No. So boots, always welcome to have them. I think Maniacal has gold. Yeah, he's got gold sword now too. So he's pretty much kitted to the teeth in the Link to the Past side. Boots doesn't open up too much. I mean, you could just have Moon Pearl sitting in Bonk Rocks or, God forbid, Lumberjack.
Well, we also have King's Tomb with the mitts.
That's right. Yeah, we don't. I was thinking we'd have to check with Mirror, but we just have mitts. Okay, so now Andy. I'm really interested to see what Andy here, because I think the proper thing to do is just bail. So Andy will be able to make up a lot of time on Maniacal. It looks, yeah, he's going to just be bailing. So I think Andy is going to be doing the thing that I suggested, is just take this and go straight back up to Meridia. Oh, I didn't even realize. Okay, Maniacal has his fire rods. Yeah, I didn't even completely miss this.
Yeah, we're definitely in a position where a Moon Pearl is suddenly going to give us quite a lot to do.
Yeah, I said, asked me early on, I said that you had the seeds where, it's a very late morph, and all of a sudden it's just to pick them in Super Metroid. It's rarer, but it does happen. My race against the Azazes was like this too, where I was like, I got to, so that's lamp locked, which we don't have, right? Yeah, we don't have. I haven't seen the lamp. It's not on the track because we have so many things. We had to make a couple sacrifices.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have the lamp, so that is logically behind the lamp. And Andy's gonna get it 2 seconds later. Interesting that he got that gravity and then bailed, but didn't do Meridia, and he's coming here, which is gonna work out for him. He's gonna get Moon Pearl. It's definitely a so we've kind of said, like Super Metroid, you sort of just go to area and full clear it. I do find the dungeons to be more valuable than the Metroid checks. Like we've all had, just because because you do an area and you just full clear it, right? There's the opportunity cost of you're just stuck there doing the whole thing, and if it's empty, that's a huge amount of time. Whereas if you just the overworld checks and the Link to the Past, on the way to the dungeon, is a lot quicker.
Yep.
Right, and then you can just couple it with a dungeon, which you have to do no matter what. So yeah, definitely Link to the Past dungeons are the most valuable thing. So having that Moon Pearl would make me go to a Link to the Past, not come back to Meridia or anything.
Well, I think you do also. You still do have the sort of sphere notion of thinking, right? Which is, because there are some people who play very aggressively against that, at least on the Link to the Past side. I don't know how common it is in SM, but given how, by comparison, right, especially in hard mode, but even here,
right,
SM is a little bit flatter.
Yeah,
right, from a logical standpoint. And so if you are a player who thinks, about wanting to try and traverse into higher tiers and pursue, those logical chains, you're going to get deeper into those chains in A Link to the Past, more quickly.
Yeah.
With the dungeons, because there's so many more things that gate, access to them. So. Yeah,
we don't talk about spheres nearly as much. Again, just because it's so diluted. I don't actually know.
This is a beautiful map, by the way. I really enjoy all three pendants lined up against the left-hand side of the screen
nice.
in the dark world.
That makes it easy to figure out. So so this also makes the so what I was saying before about this whole putting off Meyer and everything. If they had this information earlier, and I do checking with this new boss shuffle, I do checking the Dark World on Death Mountain very early, because what I can do is I can take the Light World map, the Dark World map, the 3 bosses I can check very easily. I just solve for Fantoon.
Right.
And then I have because he's replaying so much game again. I was saying, I was talking about doing a bunch of route changes and thinking about Misery Mire because it might be required later. Just having that information would have completely all that stuff I was saying about not doing Meridia. If I'd known that before, I think Lower Norfair here is still going back on it. Lower Norfair now makes sense. Of course, they didn't know that, but it's to me, it's weird to do this map check this late. Yeah,
we do have another interesting divergence going on here as well, which is Maniacal, heading immediately straight into the Dark World. Andy opting to stay on the mountain, do Hera, see what he can pull out of here.
Yeah. I think, again, because I was saying, at this point with those mitts and everything, I just kind of want to wait to do any of Death Mountain until I can pretty much do all of it, sans TR. If I can wait with TR, that's even better.
I think the flip side, though, is that by clearing Tower of Hera now, right, one of the conundrums that you always run into, depending on when you're going and how fast you're trying to go, right, if you have to make the choice between Hera and Spiral Cave, you are always going to leave Spiral Cave behind, right?
Sure.
And so for a relatively minimal investment of additional time here, Andy is basically saying, I don't have to make that choice now.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I think, and I think Hera is perfectly fine. And I get I would say in SMZ3, because you're not really just trying to save 10 seconds here, 20 seconds here, and that's how I'm gonna win, right? we tend to play a little bit more conservatively, just because missing something, you just will never come back to it. It'll be like an hour, right? So having to do like, oh, it's gonna lose me 10 seconds from all this like short, like weird routing is less of a concern for us, I would say, in general.
Yeah. So I believe
this might be Meridia.
Yep, we've got the water walk set up, and we're gonna go over there.
There wasn't anything on floating island. Oh, we just. Oh, I never thought about doing that. That's actually pretty smart. So this is actually pretty dangerous to do. I do have a setup that guarantees you getting there without getting hit. So if you fake flipper there and you get hit, well, in the vanilla ROM it would soft lock the game.
You'd just be done.
And there's a random patch that just kills you instead. But still, it's one shot and you're dead. So it is pretty dangerous. The water walk's pretty nice safety. Like I said, there is a way to, if you just like swim down angle and pump once and then like go straight and then go up into the ladder, it's you have to approach the portal from the left side. You go in, and to my knowledge, it's 100%. Since I kind of found that setup, I've never been hit, unless I've messed it up, and like even that's pretty rare because it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting because we had all those pendants lined up over on the west-hand side of the world, right? I think when you have a fire rod, right, when you've got a green pendant thieves, ordinarily you're almost trying to find a reason to go, to go into skull, to go into thieves. In this case, though, with having gravity, that I don't even think we really dipped into Skullwoods to any appreciable degree. I think we just set up the water walk.
It was such a weird
ran, so. Because
we had the fire rod, right? We're looking for the moon pearl. You go like. Because Thieves Town's a dungeon that's like accessible as soon as you have like normal Dark World access, right? So before we had the map, right, we were going like, oh, cool, I got Dark World, means I can do Thieves Town. I got the Fire Rod, so I can do Skull Woods. I can knock out some dungeons here. And you get there and you realize like, oh, I can't actually do any dungeon that's a crystal or a boss, right? Because of that layout. So it's that Moon Pearl went from like, oh, that's big value. I've got all this, I can start doing some dungeons. I can start clearing this stuff off. All of a sudden, it's like, oh wait, no, I can't. It's maybe like I do like Hype Cave or something.
I feel like the flip side, though, is that with having those boots, right, I'm surprised we didn't get at least a little bit of Village of Outcasts, if not the Front of Thieves, before setting up the water walk and going.
Yeah, I think just, like, because of the pendant layout, like, I think Maniacal just kind of had, like, make a quick decision there.
No, I mean, I totally get that. I mean, for me, and again, I don't know the SMZ3 meta, quite as much. For me, it feels a little bit like over-indexing, right? Like if I was playing a Link to the over-indexing on the pendant situation. If I had, it's your money market fund, whatever. If I had
Are you gonna start talking about crypto?
No, God no. No,
it's like some sort of like scam that you're setting up here.
I'm about to buy Twitter and ruin everything. That's my plan. But if I But if I've got the boots, right, and I've got a green pendant, Thieves Town, and Village of Outcasts, and it's still quick for me to bump up and set up the water walk, right afterward. That's a fair number of checks. That I can get done in fairly short order. I guess with Maniacal not having the mirror, it might feel a little bit worse to go into Thieves Town because you can't get out as quick. You have to take the death board.
There is that. It's just like Meridia's. It's kind of weird because I was predicting the person I thought was going to go to Meridia went to Lower Norfair, and the person I thought was going to go to Lower Norfair went to Meridia. So it's weird that they've sort of like switched from what I thought was sensible. But they're in the finals and I'm not. So
It's true.
Maybe I can learn something.
10 missiles.
And I can't imagine any not going to Lower Norfair at this point, because he also knows it's. He did a map check, right? Yeah, he did. So he knows. He knows about the Meyer situation. So I think that's why he's greenlighting this.
I'm really enjoying the fact, by the way, that we've got these little trophies here. And Duck is so sad that he doesn't have one, and they just sit right in front of him the whole time.
Yeah,
and he just has to stare at it.
Will you put them less in? No, back over there.
Just.
Oh, what does it look like? Oh, you can't see them. Yeah, well, it's the SMZ3, the Chozo holding the tri. Am I even holding up? Yeah, the Chozo handling the Triforce, and one's bigger than the other one. We've been having this entire. I thought they were in frame. We'd have to put them like way back.
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to hold them. I'm not going to Vanna White the trophies the whole time.
That's not. Well, Vanna White turns things around.
I'm sitting. I'm not gonna. I can't like.
You can't turn things because you're sitting.
Okay, I can turn things.
Yeah, see,
but
there
I
you
can't,
go.
like do the whole thing. I need special equipment for this.
Special equipment. You sure do.
I can't work under these conditions.
So Maniacal checking plasma there. To his knowledge, not actually on logic. He could have done it with speed, if that was something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not in logic. It is a lot. It is quote unquote in logic because Andy found plasma. Where was plasma? I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it in Gaunt? No, it was. Oh, Brinstar. That's right. Because Maniacal still hasn't done Brinstar. Yeah, it looks like Maniacal is kind of leaning to the Brinstar skip a little bit. If I was him, I would think like maybe I want to try to clean up blue. Although he did go down. No, he didn't. That's right. He didn't go down there at all.
So I mean, out of everything we found in Brinstar, I mean, really the thing that we'd be concerned about is the mirror.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, as some.
Yeah, and the mirror is now officially hard required. So yeah, that is. And unfortunately, remember Michael where he was trying to set that short. That's where the mirror was.
Oh yeah. So Swamp Palace is a Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Boss,
So if he did hit that,
hard
if he
required.
did hit that short charge, he would have been able to abandon the rest of Brinstar without any sort of issues.
That is true. Yeah.
So when he does get down there, I was hoping he does. Well, that's all the medallions just fell into lap all of a sudden.
Yep.
That was real quick. I mean, each runner only has one of each. And we haven't seen Turtle Rock or Meyer yet. And so we'll see Meyer soon. I mean, Meyer's a pendant, so it matters a little bit less. Unlike especially Meyer only being 2 items. Probably not going to have anything. This is a nice little strat with the grapple beam. If you have a high jump, you can just kind of jump up and just shoot down to farm these. You do want to keep your missiles below 30. If they're below 30, it forces the Chozo into just orbiting at you instead of doing his little wave beam attack. So when you're farming, you'll probably see here Andy dump. Oh, he's just going to fire now. Okay. Now he does need to. So one of the problems with doing GT like this is you need. It's not 30. It's like 25 or something. I don't know. Do you know the exact number of supers for Chozo? No idea. All right. It's not quite 30, but it's somewhere. It's like 25 or 26 or something. And then you need another 30 for Ridley. So Andy did a pretty good job farming there. He's already at 20. He probably won't really spend any time farming the Rippers when he gets. I assume he's going to be getting back shortly. Probably going to be doing. Oh yeah, we're at least going to be doing desert and stuff. Okay, so Ether. That's the one. That was the one in Aqueduct, I believe. And Bombos was. Was Bombos Crumble Tower? I think. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So we did get, we're getting some resets here on Maniacal's side as he checks those sand pits and
yeah, this is pretty standard. The sand
figures
pits
out what's going on there.
are super annoying. The worst thing possible is there's an item in both sand pits. Well, no, the worst thing possible is there's an item you maybe need in one of the sand pits. Like a book in a sand pit is death. Like you hate seeing that.
Yep. So there's our flippers. So that's one part of our Swamp Palace puzzle.
We still need hookshot too. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do we
And a
what do we
hammer.
need? We need hookshot. We need red cane. We need hammer somehow, and bow.
I believe that's correct.
And yeah, that is it. Yeah. So that's what 4 items: hookshot, cane, bow, and hammer. Yeah, so 4 items. There's screw attack. That's helpful. It's gonna make your lower Norfair a little bit easier. Less useful. Screw attack is really good if you are planning on doing the lower Norfair hell runs. That makes you just like way safer. But it's always nice to have. Really, the only place I find that screw attack really actually helps is lower Norfair. Anywhere else, it's just like none of the enemies are actually scary enough to really have to worry about it. But and sometimes it can get in the way with like doing damage boosts and everything. Like in any speed run, you tend to get screw attack very late, or not at all for most of them. The only time you really get it is like Hundo and like some GT classic ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can screw up your D boost a lot if you get it really early.
Yeah, so I think, again, we're seeing right
Oh,
here.
man, we haven't even seen Zora, have we?
No, we have not.
We're picking up this 300 rupees.
No. Zora is still very much a thing.
Don't have hammer.
True. It could be.
And we don't have a Solski. It's
It
very
could
sad.
be the t-shirt moment. But you know, the other thing that we're seeing here, obviously, is that with Andy having that mirror until Maniacal finds his way to it, you know, speaking of checks like Zora, but also just being in these dungeons, you know, Andy able to, you know, get back out, for example, to the entrance of Desert here and make his way to the back very, very efficiently. Not having the mirror to do that really sucks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as we potentially start getting into some of these other Dark World dungeons, if we do, right, you know, Pod, another big mirror dungeon.
Yeah, Pod's a real big one.
You know,
especially lampless.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, even beyond just the logical implications, you know, that mirror just starts paying you back a little bit of time every time you're routing one of these more complicated dungeons.
And I believe it's the case that Meridia has... Oh, well, never mind. I was about to say it has nothing. There's our hammer.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that's really big. It still doesn't do... I mean, it gets us all the Death Mountain checks, and that's kind of it. I mean, we could...
Well, I mean, again, it's another piece of the Swamp Palace puzzle.
Sure, I'm just saying immediately it doesn't actually open up all that much. It opens up hammer pegs, which is something that would have been isolated.
It also gets us to East Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah,
and,
that's the big. That's the
both
big
of these
thing.
runners can hover, right?
That's
so
true.
going over there and trying to spike something out of Logic and Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, that is
not
true.
a bad idea.
With the fact that they can both, I was saying delaying that till you can do all of it. With the fact that they can hover, that is all of it. So.
Yep. There's really no concern, I think, on either of these runner sides about picking up whatever's over there. They know it's out of Logic, you know, but you know, they know they're not likely to find Hookshot over there. But although it could happen.
Well, in the bonk chest, yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think I've ever had that.
Oh, I have.
You have?
Yeah. It's a fun one. Feels real bad.
Yeah. So I don't think Andy is farming. Why is he? He was already at 30. Why is he bothering to farm? And he's going to get more from like the pirate shrine sparks and everything. And he's got 49 missiles, so this extra farm seems unnecessary, decadent as it were. Maybe just planning on yeeting a couple extra supers at Ridley.
Could be. Maybe he just likes you know, comfort.
Yeah, I mean, like doing exactly 30 super Ridley fight is, you know, not the easiest thing in the world. So, you know, having a couple extras is always nice. And Maniacal also coming down to lower Norfair. So we're going to be seeing a lot of the same stuff. Maniacal will be getting these flippers, most likely. Unless he's really worried about his ammo situation and doesn't want to... Oh, yeah, he's actually really low. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't kill GT here with this ammo count. But he might still do the Mire area, especially since there's a crystal dungeon he can do effectively with Desert Palace.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of ammo, you know, I mean, again, I think one thing that's been a really interesting trend to watch, right, is, you know, everybody has a different way of reacting to being up against a really great opponent. And obviously both of these guys are up against a really great opponent. You know, they're both at the top of their game. Some people react by feeling like, man, I really got to just go for everything. Right. And, you know, some folks are like, I want to make sure I don't mess up anything. You know, and I think we've seen both of those strategies throughout the week as the competition has gotten fiercer and fiercer. And so, you know, neither one of them is wrong. You know, it's just a question of which side of the equation you want to be on, you know.
Yeah. Andy's definitely, from what I've seen, definitely the kind of guy who just, like, he doesn't really counterplay his opponent all that much. He just sort of, you know, does his thing. Ossie's like that too, or another one of the top runners who unfortunately is not here at this event. So, but yeah, like in a final, I tend to want to be a little aggressive. I think like Maniacal, he had a little, you know, Maniacal was just in a situation where like all of his plays just weren't working out.
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's really going to be committing to this Burntet skip, which is going to be really unfortunate for him because of that mirror. And it's going to be really aggravating for him because he was going for a trick to snag it and just didn't get it and decided to. He just decided to do it once, which is definitely not a bad idea in that situation. It's just because, like, I've spent a lot of time there before
and again, from an odds standpoint, right? I mean, it's one of those things where how much time do I want to sink into something that has such a legitimately small mathematical chance of working out?
And it's
obviously
not
it
even something
happened
that,
to
like,
be the thing, you know,
win
here. But
win the seed necessarily. I mean, win him the seed from like that would enable the Bryn skip because that was literally. But like in that situation, something had him in there, and he would have to do all of Brinstar, and there was nothing else in Brinstar, right? A lot of things had. I mean, and that's what happened. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
like I definitely understand not wanting to spend. It's just like, what are the odds, right? And it's apparently 100% because it happened. That's how odds work, right? As I've been told.
Yep.
Something about PRNG.
Yes, it's all.
Yeah, but you can
it's
see what I was-
all PRNG.
You can see what I was talking about with this fight and just not coming in here with no ammo. It takes a long time to farm up. Meanwhile, Andy in his Ridley fight has got plenty of supers. This should be a nice easy one. Unless you want to yeet a super into his tail. That's not where the damage is.
Does VTorp have a confirmation bias emote that I could use when people bring that? Like,
I'm about to make one. Now that you say that.
Every time somebody says PRNG, you have to post VT conf bias.
Just post the thanks Solsky emote.
Oh, man. The thing I love about the thanks Solsky thing is because one of the cutest things in the world, for anybody who doesn't know, both Solsky and his baby have matching thanks Solsky shirts. And
Amazing.
It is one of the... oh, that's a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of the I'm not allowed to swear on SG, but it's one of the
Cutest, darndest things.
the cutest S posts that I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. That's what you're going with.
If you're going to S post,
S standing for Solsky, obviously.
yes. If you're going to Solsky post, that is the cutest way to do it.
Yeah, I mean that both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
All right,
If you're going to Fogo de Chao post, if you're going to
that man has ate so much.
If
meat.
you're going to 2 night in a row Brazilian steakhouse post, then that is the cutest way to do it.
Yeah, I hope Solsky wrote an apology letter to the hotel
Oh,
after
God.
going to Meats 2 nights in the row.
That is okay.
There's no cleaning. You need to buy a new toilet after that. Like you could just rip it out. Anyways, Andy's coming out of Ridley.
Can we go back to the Mallrats references from earlier? That felt a lot safer for SG.
We were doing Mallrat references?
Do you not know where the references you make come from?
No, that wasn't what that reference was.
Excuse me.
No, it was from a dating show. I'll show you the clip. I promise you. Mallrats stole it from that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I will.
Also, the Mallrat reference was definitely not safer. Like,
It's literally what you said.
okay.
We talked about an uncomfortable place. You said what? Like the back of a Volvo incorrectly because it's a Volkswagen. Zebra knows what I'm talking about.
Zebra, you all right? Hey, did you know this entire room that Annie is in is just a big Ridley statue? If you zoom all the way out,
I did know that. Do
You
you know
did?
what? Do you know what else is true?
What?
A schooner is a sailboat, dummy.
it is. That is very true. I literally had a dirt mall in where I lived in New Jersey, so
Yeah.
I definitely felt it.
Oh, Lord.
So yeah, we do have that bow that was on our list. We got the bow and the hammer recently. So yeah, that really narrows down the possibilities. That is Amy. Is Andy still skipping ammo? Because we're getting close to the end here. He's not particularly close to Mother Brain ammo. We don't have charge yet. Because right now it's just Red Cane and, like I'm saying, yeah, we're Red Cane at this point. Red Cane and we have all 3 medallions. Well, we have them. The runners are.
Yep.
I believe.
Andy very much needs to get to Meridia and get that hammer.
Yeah, and maybe Ether.
Yep.
But he'll get. I don't really see a situation where he only gets one and not the other.
Yeah, I think this is one of those cases where, I think, again, my limited understanding of the SM side of this, but from everything you've been saying and from what we've been talking about, I think Maniacal's been making a lot of really great decisions. It's just, that one mirror check, and then Andy's just been kind of getting rewarded, for...
Just with the way Maniacal is playing, I feel like he's either committed to the Bryn skip or, like, I kind of play like this a little bit too, where it's like I don't do Brinstar until the game forces me to. So we'll see how like it'll be once if he start doing like some like quote unquote dumb checks, then we'll know he's like committed to the Brin skip. He might just be doing like I'm just gonna. The game is giving me so much other good stuff to do. I'm just gonna put it off.
Right.
And he doesn't have to do all of Brinstar, right? He could just do, like blue Brinstar, like down to like Red Tower or something. So.
Yeah.
And it's very possible that could be. I mean, unless at this point, unless Red Cane is behind Mirror somehow. I mean, which is, not unlikely. You have a lot of in Swamp Palace. You have some tablets. You have like K45 and that stuff. It's possible that like he could just put off Brinstar to really late, and when he's already in he just needs Mirror for go mode. I mean, he could just go down there and just be like, okay, I'm done, and leave.
Mirror go mode is great,
Okay, Swamp is a boss, so we couldn't necessarily couple that in with a Mother Brain kill, unfortunately.
Yep. We are getting that East Death Mountain play from Andy now, so this is a lot of checks. And with Andy having the mirror, he gets to do this in the most convenient way for him. So. And we'll also be getting our Turtle Rock medallion check.
But
here,
you can see what I'm saying. Where it's like we're fairly late in the seed. But there's only one item we actually need, and it's just like, Paradox Cave just is completely empty a lot of times.
Yep. Andy did fail that hover, and
I didn't think that was physically possible. Twice. Wow. It is late here.
It is late. He's shaking the hands.
Yeah.
He's getting a little bit of water, refreshing.
I will say, like, so they're sitting face to face with each other. Obviously, they can't see their monitors. Like, generally, you can't tell what's going on, but when someone is hovering something, it's like that's a clue to like there's like 4 places
a thing is happening. Yeah. I think there's.
Of course, that is the silly, most pointless hover. That's like not really giving information, but
I think there's also the thing too.
Like
right,
it's going to be
like
super obvious when he's in a hookshot.
Oh
cave.
yeah.
Like not because like he's in a hookshot cave. I think that's like the one.
Well, I don't think it is because he has the hook shot.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but there are moments, right, where you play these games enough.
Yeah.
You're watching somebody who is also very good, right? You know what they can do.
Right.
And you can see when their focus is maybe off to the side of the screen or they're not, sort of concentrating super hard. You know about how long the things that they would have to be in the middle of right now to have the opportunity to look away like that are.
Right.
And so, talking to a lot of the players here this week, I mean, I think we've heard a lot of people, both intentionally or inadvertently, perpetrating mind games on their opponents, right? Yeah. Apparently, Dante keeping his eyebrows raised the whole time he is in Dig Game or whatever. I think it's just one of the funniest things I've ever heard about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't have the pleasure of having any restreams. I was just off in the tournament room, so I didn't. I'm sad I didn't get to participate in the mind game sub game. I feel like that would have been a.
I had it in the tournament room because I faced off an opponent who specifically said, "I keep my head low so that people can't see. My opponent can't see when I'm thinking about stuff." So he was like, "Could you see me?" I'm like, "No, I couldn't see you. The monitors were too." I was like, "The monitors weren't too tall. I was keeping my head down like a fighter gun pilot, like a fighter pilot or something."
I just had headphones on. I was listening to Spotify, so I was just bopping to like the Bangles and stuff while I was racing. So I don't think people were really getting any.
That's an option too.
Yeah, any real information, or if they were trying to figure out, like, it was like
they
something for me.
They learned about the Eternal Flame or how to walk like an Egyptian, or any one of a number of
those 2 songs
of 80s post-punk.
Name a third Bangle song.
Manic Monday. Technically written by Prince.
All right.
If that makes you feel better.
It does not.
Okay.
All right, so Andy is. I don't think there was anything. Yeah, over here. Oh no, Bombos. Okay, that's where Bombos was. Bombos was in Bonkrocks. So that'll. And Mandy will. I keep.
Mandy.
Every time we've gone Randy, Amy, Mandy, Candy.
Known gamer Mandy Blasso out here doing his thing. Did Andy not check the? Did Mandy not check the Turtle Rock entry requirement?
That's a good question.
I'm asking because I know it's not marked, but I actually missed it, so I don't know if he checked that because,
Yeah, he did Hookshot Cave and everything. So.
Oh, it's Quake.
Oh,
Okay,
it's Quake.
so he
Okay.
did check it. So he does have it. I was just gonna say because Maniacal is sitting on all 3 medallions right now, so he is good to go in that regard.
Yeah. Well, Andy is good to unless Kane is in Misery Mire, which would just be the biggest. We're gonna be here for a while if that's the case. I'm just settle in if that's the thing. But yeah, it's very, very unlikely that Andy actually needs this ether. Now, of course, Hammer's in Meridia, so he'll probably end up getting the ether just because he needs to get the hammer, and that's going to lock off some other stuff. What is interesting is, they both have the bow, but only one of them has the hammer. So Pod and Eastern is going to be a lot more attractive to Maniacal than to Andy right now. So if Kane's over there, very much, again, as long as Kane's not behind Mirror, it is definitely possible that Maniacal, will get it. And then if he's just doing the, I'm just putting off Brinstar until I have to and not, hard trying to skip it, right? Then it is possible, he could just get the Mirror and then he can just leave and, he would have spent, no time down there. It can also be, you know what the joke answer is Red Kane is in Criteria Supers. Because that's the one place that Andy skipped because he didn't have the power bombs, and Maniacal looks like he's trying to skip Brinstar. So the comedy answer for Red Kane is definitely, Criteria Supers. That would be that'd be quite hilarious.
Quite
honestly.
a thing. Andy is going to dive into Skullwoods, which gives him.
This is an interesting choice. He still has Meridia, and he's going to do a pendant.
We don't know if he's going to finish it, but he's got a few options coming out of here, right? We still have Zora, I believe, available on
we haven't
both
seen
runner
Zora
side.
at all.
We've got that whole area.
At this point, we'll just do it with Catfish, right?
Well, exactly. And so one option is to run out of here to the east. And I think we've also not seen Graveyard Wedge.
Yeah, so I was Andy did the fall, and you have Mirror, bud. What are you doing?
So, we've got that as well. The other option is to go down to Thieves, right? Do a little bit of that.
Pendant, yeah.
Yep, but green pendant. Do Village of Outcasts, make the loop around, hit Hype Cave, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the first, a lot of people just do the first 4 of Thieves. I think especially with green pendant, if you have 2 deep plus the green pendant, that's 3 deep, right? That is somewhat attractive, but
I'll also remind you that
but he has Meridia.
We do have that shovel.
We do have that shovel, yeah.
That shovel,
the fly shovel,
could make all the difference. I want the shovel.
Did you bring up the fly thing because of the Ken fly thing? I'm just piecing that together now.
No, I brought it up because it was stupid and it was funny to me that you don't know.
Sorry,
how
I was
to
giving you credit for being clever for a second there.
I don't need that credit. I'm the one who can operate pants. So
that doesn't make you clever. No one's ever that guy can really put on a pair of pants. He's really clever.
No, but when somebody can't operate pants,
well,
they're inclined to stay.
Yeah, okay. Just because something's true doesn't mean the converse is not true, right? This is basic logic.
That's fine in principle, but in this particular case,
right here, on stage, in front of everyone,
not being able to operate pants properly isn't a sign of idiocy. Change my mind.
All right, I'm gonna let that one go.
Thank you.
All right, Maniacal finishing off Hera. Yeah, it just okay. So I'm gonna guess that Andy is heading towards Meridia now. Wait, now he's walking. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just such an interest. Again, like I said, when you do say Meridia, it's just you are stuck there, right? With this stuff, you can kind of there's a lot of places you can bail out. Have we even seen Hype Cave yet? It's such a weird seed.
we have not, right? And so that's the thing. I mean, for Andy, I totally get what you're saying about heading to Meridia, right? But there are so many checks.
Yeah, but you right here. What are our reds, by the way? Eastern and never mind. Does not matter. Yeah, here I would because I'm kind of harping on this Meridia thing. And because Hype Cave is sitting there, I think Hype Cave, Pyramid, Catfish, Zora, and then into Meridia from that portal makes a ton of sense. I think it makes more sense than this. This all being pendants. That's a ton of stuff over there. You got Merida. You're gonna get a boss kill from this. There's no boss over here, right? That you need to be killed. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like this is, bad. I'm just sort of like, it feels, maybe, or I don't know. He could just. I don't think necessarily trying to counterplay Maniacal or anything here. It's just there's so often that you do that. Like there's so few seeds that like you have like just Velvet Outcast not touched, but this is one of the seeds where it just doesn't feel like the seed is really like pulling you here at all.
I mean, honestly, in something like
and especially coming in here, if he is thinking of going, he doesn't have the hammer, so he might actually abandon an item here.
He might, although he just pulled 3, I think, out of the front.
Yeah, okay.
And so,
I wouldn't go deep here.
We'll see what he does, right? Or no, he pulled 2.
2.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
he's bailing, right? So, honestly, we could be talking about all the logical reasons or the item density. I mean, it could very well be I need a break from Super Metroid right now.
It could be.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, there's any number of reasons why making this really, really easy run could be very attractive.
Yeah, but I'm still going to analyze it. Like,
well, of course you are. But
I'm just talk about my fly for the rest of the match.
I'm fine with that, but I don't think everybody else would be. So for me, I think what's going on in the mind of the gamer?
I do not want him to get that boy's head.
I think it's what's going on in Andy's mind right now? He's saying, if I do that, okay.
That's I don't think I've ever had it just bounce back into my head before like that.
I think that's what's going on in his head in that moment.
He caught that off the first
He
bounce.
dug one,
really
and then he just said, okay. And then he's like, oh, I guess I'm continuing on.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen K40. Yeah, any of this stuff. Yeah, just such a weird seed. Well, there's Charred. That's actually big. I was saying I was chastising for 60% of that ammo. That does save him from all of that.
And walked behind that mirror.
Yeah, that is true. So if Maniacal does, no, I think Maniacal is a little bit better off ammo-wise. So when I'm sort of like, and he just feels like in a better spot overall in the seed, I would say. I mean, there's still a lot of game to go. I mean, who knows where this game's going to be?
Yeah.
If Maniacal, Maniacal's got to spike the cane and he's got to get back to that mirror. So I think Maniacal's best chance in this is, like doing your mirror being your last item, and then you put off Brinstar until like it's your only real good option, and then hopefully you do blue first. Like if he does, just does Brinstar the normal way, he'll like basically do that last, and it'll be kind of annoying, and he won't really make any time there.
Yeah, I mean, I think go mode mirror is definitely what you want on Maniacal's side, and I think because I think my understanding of what's going on here, I think that Andy has a much more straightforward set of reasons to get back to that hammer than.
Oh, that's right. I was about to say Andy is technically. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to put up Meridia for too much longer. I think honestly he's going to. Honestly, I think he's going to Meridia here. I mean,
he has the flippers. He can he can just head there.
Yeah, I remember when I was saying when I said the hype cave up to catfish and all that kind of stuff. I think he. Oh no, never. He's just going to go straight down.
Or
is he going to do swamp?
Tablet.
No, I know. I was. This felt like. Isn't it? I thought if you're going to do tablet and hype cave, it's better to do. No, it's better to do hype cave first. Yeah. But that's assuming you end here. If he is planning to go up to Meridia, then like, we'll see. We'll see where he goes. Broke the seal? Oh, book in. Oh, right.
Well, there's your high jump boots.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. Book was it? You couldn't have done that beforehand. Look, it is late. And it's been a long week for me too, so I apologize. I was like, broke the seal. Like, ain't even drinking? That was a really quick 3-kill with the bow. Yeah, I guess that's his plan strat. That's kind of weird to do the extra one, but it
was fast. So, so Andy going to be a Giga Gamer and check the first chest in Swamp Palace for his hammer. Now, this did happen to me this week.
Oh no!
And I did tell Andy about it. So I wonder if it's poisoned his brain, and now
Are you gonna claim partial credit of the trophy if that's Red Gain in here?
No, I'm gonna feel bad because if I poisoned his brain with this heinous nonsense, then I feel a certain amount of guilt.
No, I'm saying if Red Cane's here, like.
Oh, if it's here, then yeah,
yeah
it's 100% my responsibility, and I am the best.
Okay, it's a big key. A little nervous there. Yeah, that's a really conservative play.
I mean, again, though, it's the type of thing where...
Oh, no. Never mind. I take it back. I keep forgetting he doesn't have hammer. The problem is, like, it's impossible to get back here, right? So I think that's actually fine. And he can't... That's right. He can't go up the pyramid. So I don't know what I was talking about.
No, he cannot. Well, he could have gone east, right? So the decision point was either he was going to, continue on eastward from Graveyard Wedge, or he was going to go around to the south.
Right. Well, or he can do it this way, too, right? If he wanted to go all the way up to Catfish and everything.
Yep, so he will get the Zorajax here. I'm actually wondering now if we're going to do Ice Palace on the way.
Hammer.
I know, but...
Oh, no, you're going to do Meridian. There's no way he's going to Hammerless Ice before...
He checked the first chest in Swamp. I mean,
Yeah, but again, that's because to get back to 20th, all the way to get Ice Palace, you can come here whenever.
Totally get it. I'm just saying, I mean, it depends just how out there he wants to hang himself,
I can't believe he'd be that out there. That'd be crazy. Nice Armos kill from Maniacal.
Yep.
I'm surprised he's doing this first and not Pod. Oh, he doesn't have the mirror. He doesn't have the mirror. Right. I would still do Pod first, honestly, just like because the mirror could be there, right?
I don't know.
To Maniacal's mind.
I think with the.
Why is he going back in?
I'm not sure.
What did he like leave right side and just got lucky?
He might have.
Oh, he didn't. That's what it is. He didn't do. This is I don't like this. It's super. He didn't. Since Big Key was early, he didn't do the last chest. He was hoping for. Oh no, he just didn't do right side.
That's a really interesting.
Well, but I guess he just got lucky that Big Key wasn't here. Right, because Morph Ball was.
Morph Ball was the first chest in Eastern.
Yeah.
Yep. So Andy is swimming over, making his way to Meridian now.
This is, buddy. This. Why do you want Death Warp? Does he doesn't have the green? I'm confused.
He didn't have the mirror. He probably wants to dash down and go to. Well, okay.
All right, the crowd is trying to signal to me, and I'm just horrible at miming, so... Do I look like I play for the Astros? Like...
I think what Fred was trying to say is...
Oh, he's going to pot. Okay, that's why. Instead of having to dash all the way back over. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, sure. Ground pound right there.
Yep. So Andy.
Yeah, Andy's gonna be on the fast track to his hammer, and then he will be officially just down Kane. Maniacal's gonna still be down 2 here. Again, gotta get back to that mirror at some point, and if you're rooting for Maniacal in this one, you just do not. If it's behind the mirror, I really don't see any chance Maniacal has. But if Maniacal sparks the Red Cane, just does all his dungeons, and then when he's sort of out of like the big things to do, like instead of doing like dumb checks and really leaning into the Brinstar skip, if he just does it, and maybe even better does it in reverse, that's I think that's his most straightforward path to taking this thing.
Yep. So with that kill, Andy Maniacal going to be all tied up on the boss kills.
Yeah. Andy only has 2 dungeons. I guess they both have 2 dungeons. Oh, did Maniacal did kill Ridley, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't go to Des. Oh, he doesn't have the mirror. Oh
yeah.
my god, I keep forgetting.
It's kind of the whole crux of the thing.
It's like Groundhog's Day with me right now. I'm so sorry. Like, Why didn't he go to that? Well, fortunately, we're
Speaking of failing over and over and
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
again, have
But
you
the
checked
book-
your fly?
the book. Yes. The book is in Hype Cave, so like that's an easy out for Maniacal. So it's not like he's gonna have to re-lava dive or anything because of that. And Flute might just pop up somewhere again, giving him easy mirror access. So.
Yep, but having the hammer on Maniacal, so I
Oh,
mean,
baby.
this is full clearable.
We're gonna out Andy the Andy right
Oh,
here.
we're going for it. We're gonna get the. See here, he's playing those mind games. Andy's like, what is he doing hovering right now?
Yeah, like so.
What is this?
You have to like clip in on like a specific pixel. It's that's definitely one of the more challenging ones.
I
Yeah,
didn't hear
hovering on-
that one.
Oh. Oh,
What
okay, yeah.
oh, okay.
So apparently, well, I didn't see it from way over here, but apparently Andy during bowling alley was fake hovering, That's to try to confuse Maniacal.
I've never loved anything so much.
Yeah, that is
the most cursed gamer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a while ago. We just didn't see. He wasn't actually doing it on his like, so I didn't hear it. I think he was just like mimicking it.
That's fantastic.
That's a good move. Yeah.
That is classic Eneb gaming moment right there. Like he is really.
I feel like the only problem with that, it was like too early for him to be hovering anything sensible for that long, right? So I feel like that one you can sniff out.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Who knows what was in Brentstar?
Yeah, Tristan came and he was hovering in bowling. How do you hover in bowling alley? Like, is that some sort of tech? I'm not. I mean, this is a Shine Spark. That's kind of like hovering, but.
If you were a gamer, you'd know.
Yeah, that's the next evolution of SMZ3 is that the Samus will play the A Link to the Past parts and Link will play the SM parts. I feel like Samus will handle that a little bit better than Link. I feel like Link's kind of in over his head on Zebras.
Where is the absolutely cursed buff Link sprite for Super Metroid?
Maniacal, please. Yeah, it's those.
I've just said it, so I've willed it into existence.
Yeah,
Some
I'm ignoring
sprite
it.
artist is going to make it happen. Buff Link for SM?
Not bad.
I want big, burly, like,
yeah, Buff Link. Like Buff Link for A Link to the Past or Buff Link in
SM.
In SM.
No, I
right.
want buff shirtless Link.
I want Buff Link in A Link to the Past now, actually, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, is there a Kirby A Link to the Past sprite?
Yes, there definitely
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, it's been around forever.
Generally speaking, if you have the question, is there an blah
Yeah.
sprite for A Link to the Past randomizer?
Yes.
The answer is yes or soon.
Yeah. Or it's something horrifying.
The answer is still yes.
Yes. I don't know. But Buff Kirby's pretty bad. Seeing Aussie play as the chair in SM, though, is also quite the experience.
I gotta say, the thing that I am, the new technology that I am most excited for is absolutely, hopefully, there will be an official supported release of the Buff Eggplant and Buff Pug sprites, because they are two of the most cursed things I have seen in my entire life, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And he did pick up the screw attack there. Like I was saying, it really only helps you in lower Norfair. It actually can slow you down in like terrain a little bit sometimes. In this situation, I think it would honestly be better just to have skipped it. But because Andy really doesn't have a lot of SM left, he just got a little bit. Yeah, he's just like walking to the front here. Like it's not really helping him at all. So, but it's like we don't have fanfare here. It's not. I kind of wouldn't mind fanfares in SM. I think that would encourage a lot more item skipping. It would make the game, longer, obviously, and this game's already long enough, but I think it'd make people to be a little bit more tactical about what they pick up.
There's a little bit of tech, too, right, to dodging the pickups, in some of the rooms.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
gets a little bit interesting.
There's a bunch of I tend to skip a lot still, just because it's still like 40 frames or whatever it is to pick it up. It's not the full 7-second fanfare.
Right. Yeah.
But there's some rooms that like if you like to do a turnaround, like the Edekun's power bomb's a good one. Like I just blind run into it just because it's harder to skip it, and like I said, the fanfares are not that long.
Yeah.
So and he does get his hammer there, and he's I think just gonna scout Crab Supers here. That was a quick scout. Shout outs to Azure, by the way.
Yep. So
Andy, don't have to blow. Oh, I gotta show him the thing. You can just morph on morph right there, and you can clip right through the tube.
So
I
really,
unfortunately learned that from Solsky, which is shameful.
That's
yeah.
That's cursed. So at this point, it's really just going to be a question of who finds that Canis Samaria. Because I think
Canis Samaria, and then even if it just falls in Maniacal's lap, he's still got to work his way back to that mirror. So like that's like Andy just being one from go is obviously just
no,
I mean much better position.
Andy is in a great situation, but the longer we go without that Canis Samaria, the more out Maniacal potentially has to get over.
Yeah,
there
I mean that is true.
I think so.
Yeah. If he's like, it might make him go back to Brinstar a little bit earlier, because if he's still like 2 from go, then it's like, okay, I really can't justify not being in Brinstar for much longer. But yeah, we're kind of like getting down to the corrupt stuff. I mean, we have the Meyer one is the worst possibility. I guess we haven't seen. Oh, we haven't seen ice or swamp at all. So. We still never mind. We still got some decent places for it to be. With Icebreaker, most people tend to delay getting or delay going to Ice Palace until until you find the red cane. But when red cane's your go mode, right? Like, I would do it after Swamp. Maybe you have a nice go mode Ice, but like we're not really going to be worrying about that anymore here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and again. I brought this up earlier. If you are a player who thinks about trying to pursue things in higher depth spheres, right? Ice, pretty high depth, right?
Right.
There's a lot in your way of getting into Ice Palace,
right?
Logically, and so things do tend to show up there.
Yeah, that is true.
Swamp has the density. Ice has this really interesting set of logical checks in front of it. So but it looks like we're going to get Pod and Eastern from Andy.
Red Cane is just less likely to be in Ice at all because with a certain key layout, it's impossible for it to be there.
That is true. Yeah.
Or it's impossible to be after it, right?
Yep. Andy going to be able to do Pod in general a little bit faster with that mirror. But also, obviously, being able to route these in on a single go, not having to do the taking a death shenanigans, not having to do any of that.
Maniacal is going to be getting his mirror here. He's going the long way. He's doing this the whole way. The thing is, I was saying you really want this to be your go mode. The thing that since he's 2 from go on this, like he would have been full clearing everything anyways if he went the other way. Although I guess because he had done some of this stuff over here with his early scout. You can make the argument that if he went the other way, because of the Roy Scout, going the other way maybe makes more sense.
Ooh.
Wow, that's rare to. He has speed too. It's actually I almost always I've had that happen to me once or twice. Like you actually have to start the speed pretty far to the left. That and SM runners are just so naturally doing one taps that this is when you actually want to hold it immediately.
Right.
And that can kind of just happen on accident. I want to say Plasma was over here too. That's why Andy's had it forever, and Maniacal doesn't. Oh, got the reverse. Yeah, because he already went up top. But got the reverse mock ball. Very, very nicely done. That's pretty hard with just speed. It's pretty awkward. Oh, are we gonna? No. This hover just does not want to happen today. Apparently.
Andy wants it to happen.
Yeah, Andy
but
also going to bail on it, so no corrupt hovers for us today. We're also getting to the point where we're 146 into the seed. Getting to the point where it's reasonable that someone could potentially finish a seed, and this seed has been pretty straightforward, I would say. It did require there was something in Well, what? No, there wasn't something in Lower North, or was there? I mean, I guess you had to go down there for your flippers. That was in Meyer, but like, it looks like that's your only access. You know, starting to get up on the point, like when there's like 10 minutes to the point where like, one of these guys potentially could finish a seed that's, you know, relatively straightforward. So that's when to probably start playing on their minds a little bit.
Yeah, that nervous time sort of.
Yeah,
starts
the
where
second, no matter like how good or bad a seed is, the second like you cross the like, you know, time that people can reasonably finish a seed in number, you know, you start like, you know, in like if this was online, you start checking race time chat, or in here, this can like, I think this is like probably a little, so your opponent would just like do something obvious in front of you, so it's less like, less like you have to like go and check something. It's gonna be immediately obvious when they finish. But yeah, I was started thinking about that at this time. I don't necessarily, I wasn't playing with a timer at all. I don't think they necessarily have a timer front, so like that's the other thing, you don't like know what the time is.
Yeah, if you don't have one running, it's very difficult sometimes to sort of gauge, you know,
exactly
how am I tracking, right? How am I doing, you know, relative to my normal performance? I think the flip side is that, you know, both the good and the bad thing is both of these runners have a lot of experience playing each other across multiple games.
Yeah,
I think, you know, and so it's a double-edged sword. You know, I think they know enough about their opponent to know, you know, to feel like they have at least a good idea of maybe what, you know, how much wiggle room they might have against them.
Yeah.
But the flip side is that,
which is none.
Like, yeah, you know, the flip side of that is that also, you know, can make you nervous too, because both of them know that.
Maniacal, you have wave. Maniacal, okay. He does that even with wave? Oh man. But yeah, nice little. Oh, here's plasma. Okay.
Yep. I apologize, chat. I just got the yawns. So
yeah,
if all of you guys start yawning soon, I apologize. It's my fault. Oh, did you start it?
I was also yawning.
Oh, then
a
it's
little.
your fault.
I've been holding a yawn in for about a good like 40 minutes.
That's why I'm yawning. It's your fault.
Yeah, it's always my fault.
I knew it.
Yeah. Spelling the. All right, so yeah, Andy got this helmet sword down. So yeah, we're just kind of just cleaning up just what each player has seen before. So yeah, I think the big interesting thing is going to be, and I assume Andy's going to get there sooner than later, is going to be the swamp and the ice. Wouldn't be surprised to see Maniacal also beeline that. We're pretty close in dungeon count here. Andy will be ahead once he finishes Eastern.
Yeah,
he'll have 4.
He'll be up that Desert Palace.
Yeah, that Desert Palace. Which honestly, the Desert Palace might actually, if a flute doesn't show up, Maniacal's gonna have to re-lava dive, which is a non-insignificant amount of time.
Yep.
And you know, Maniacal is definitely keeping this close, but the double lava dive might actually be the difference. Oh, he has book. That's right. Yeah, we don't. Never mind. Which is still slower, but not nearly as bad.
Not having book on the tracker here.
Yeah,
is very confusing for me.
Yeah.
Might as well not exist. Who, you know.
I'd say you get used to it, but apparently not. I at least know what is missing down there, like book, lamp, powder. You know, all the fetch modes aren't going to be down there. Grapple's not down there.
Yep.
This is the one down. So the SMZ3, you can have so much divergence. You also have the you know, people covering what the other person's already covered phase can be quite long. So see, this would have been the time to talk about the fly story. You broke it out way too early.
Look,
now we need another story.
I talked about it when I needed to talk about it.
Okay. Well, now you need to talk about something else because we have nothing to talk about.
Can we talk about your sense of self-superiority about the Bengals, which clearly didn't pan out for you?
You
tried to. You were like, name a third Bengals song. If you're such a fan of the Bengals, name every Bengals song.
I didn't say if you're such a. I was just saying they only had 2 songs. I guess they had 3. No one remembers.
They have a lot more. You know. They have Going Down to Liverpool. There's a lot of songs.
Okay, I didn't realize you were the Bengals expert.
I'm not a Bengals expert, but I did listen to that album. Like,
Okay.
I know the songs on the album. I'm just so presumptuous sometimes.
Presumptuous about the Bengals.
Yeah, you insist upon yourself
I
with
do.
respect to the Bengals, and it's a little bit much.
Oh, that's right. Andy did clear most of this dungeon earlier,
Yep.
so he's just really just cleaned this. It's just never going to be faster. He's never going to be closer. So just
No,
doing
this
it here.
is just an easy slam
Yeah.
dunk decision to make. I think the question
Oh,
is,
I do want to say. Remember, I said the comedy answer for where Kane could be.
yeah,
We are going to see it right now. So this is
the check that Andy skipped
This is
because
the-
he was
yeah.
because he was low on power bombs at the
yeah.
time.
Now it's not that hard to get back. Like it's not that far to get back here. It's just like when do you actually kind of like commit to it for Andy if this is actually something. So and it's
5
just
arrows,
5 arrows.
so.
Yeah. No comedy today.
Yeah.
That would have been funny though. I would have enjoyed that.
Yep. So, is the assumption here, we think, right, that Andy finishes this up, probably heads to Swamp in the Nice?
I think they're both heading to Swamp and Ice. Like they're like neck and neck. Like I'm pretty sure it's the case that they've pretty much done everything else each other's done. The only difference is Andy has that desert.
Yep.
Yeah. After all this, it's surprising how close it is. They are right. They're like literally right on top of each other. I can't think of really anything that. Did Andy do Croc? Oh yeah, that's right. There was something down there that was. Or no, behind Croc there wasn't anything. There was just the gravity on Croc Escape. But I don't think there was anything behind Croc necessarily. Yeah, this is the swamp play for Andy, so this is going to start
Yep.
being big. The other issue that Maniacal has, because he had that late mirror, Andy was just able to do all of this, all like the K45s and the Graveyard Ledge. He was just able to do that pretty naturally. Now, granted, there's nothing there, but it might be weighing, especially if like Swamp ends up being nothing, it might start weighing Maniacal's mind about whether to actually go there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing is that, if the plan on Maniacal's side is to head over to Swamp, right? K45 and Bombo's Tablet, not too bad.
Yeah, I mean,
to
it's just,
get
especially
to.
when you're one for go, the standard is to do those two first because
Yeah.
Swamp has the whole left side.
Graveyard Ledge is
conundrum.
going to weigh in your mind.
Yeah,
but,
Graveyard
but
Ledge.
the other two, not so bad to get to. We've got the boots. We can get over there.
Yeah,
not
like I
for
said,
free, but fairly quickly.
yeah, these guys are gonna be right on top of each other. I kind of expect the Graveyard, or not the Graveyard, the K45 and Bombos, because that is a pretty meta play to make if you're going Swamp, and you're one from go.
Yeah,
You
and
check Bombos.
Andy is
and
even a few seconds more ahead because he's
That's true.
already,
He already did
checked
this one
checked
check
the one
earlier.
chest. So he's just running in.
Oh, and hype.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it turns out, fun fact, Maniacal didn't have the book. So I was right. Technically.
Technically correct.
Yeah. The best kind of correct.
Yes. You're gonna tell me that was
That was my plan the entire time.
No,
yes.
you're gonna tell me that was like a Married with Children reference or something after you mistook the Mallrats reference for whatever you thought it was.
I'll show you the clip. I can't say what it is,
Okay.
but I will show you the clip afterwards.
Okay. Do the young people even know about Married with Children? Like, is that okay? Good.
Oh wait, no, I got it back.
Thank you for nodding.
Actually, I'm just realizing I got it backwards. You were right.
Okay. Thank you.
That was very painful to do.
Try to tell me about Mallrats.
I wasn't telling you. Well, I didn't think it was a Mallrats reference. That was a dating game reference.
Do you remember that there was a dating game?
Yes, I
In
did remember
Mallrats?
that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the one who actually watches movies, not the one who makes up their own alternate movie in their head.
We're gonna have a conversation about this now. So, well, hold on. Let's
Let's at least watch the new checks. Yeah,
let's
how about
watch
that?
the
Let's
the
do
back
our
of Swamp
jobs
Palace
properly.
first, and then we're gonna have a conversation about this.
This conversation is going to be going over when the runners are finished and we're trying to interview them. That's how long this is going to take.
This is the interview. They'll enjoy it. It'll be fine. Yeah, so nothing so far. I mean, I guess we could maybe see Maniacal hit left side before Andy, does if he's,
Yeah,
if he's
this
playing
is the
that way,
situation I do left side with big keys won the first 2 chests. I will do left side first. Less likely to do that when I'm 1 from go though. So yeah, I think 1 for go I wouldn't do it, but like if I was like 2 or 3, I would do left side first with big key.
I think the one thing that's for sure that I think it's very unlikely that we don't go back in on Andy's side though.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know the count, Ace, of how many we have left? Is it just 1?
Even so,
it was
like
for the spring ball.
I mean, at this point, if Samaria is on the left, right, you're gonna go mode ice, which is gonna be great for you. Right?
Yeah.
If it's not over there, or if it is over there and you skip it, you're toast.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's,
and so
it's at least 2 left side. So yeah. So I think it's 3. Fortunately, we don't have quick swap, so we can actually see menus in this game, as God intended.
I don't think she has anything to do with randomizer.
No, that would be the other one. Randomizer is definitely a creation of Satan.
Yeah, Alanis did not create.
Oh God.
Did not create randomizer.
You're just gonna go through the whole Kevin Smith discography at this point.
You started it, and
are you
now
gonna make a Tusk reference at some point that no one's gonna understand?
Poor Justin Long. He used to be so cute, and now it's just not going well for him.
Maybe it's not that movie I told you about.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. So, Maniacal is just going left.
Going
so
left.
he is going to beat Andy to those checks.
Yeah, but so I mean, this is the most efficient way to clear this dungeon.
If you're going to full clear, it's the way to do it. So
especially when you already have like if you have the big key in the back, it becomes less efficient again. But because you have the big key already, yeah, this is the most efficient way to full clear it. So he is going to gain some time overall on Andy, but Andy's still going to be like purely ahead after this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, for sure. But the flip side is that, if he does pull it first over here on the left-hand side, it's, again, he gets that mental shift and knows that, he was, but not going to happen. We got a bug net.
Yeah, the issue if it is in Ice Palace, this is, I mean, unless Annie just doesn't go to Ice Palace for some reason, which I don't see happening.
That would seem shocking to me.
Yeah, that would seem like a kind of a questionable decision. But if it is an Ice Palace, this is pretty much Andy's race to lose. He's just like, even in this dungeon, he's ahead. And on top of that, he's got Desert Palace. Desert Palace is not the longest dungeon, but it's still going to add a minute or two to Maniacal's time.
Here's the question: if it's not an Ice Palace,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be
where is it?
Shack Tool.
Sure. Or we might have to go back into Thieves Town.
Shack Tool, or like we really haven't.
We
haven't seen any of the pendants at all.
What's
our third pendant?
Meyer.
Oh, right, Meyer. Oh God, I said before the word if it's Red Canyon Meyer, everyone should settle in for a long seed. The one place it can't be though is Ped, but Meyer might as well be Ped.
Yeah.
It can be on Green Pendant. Yeah, like. See, this is the other thing with SMZ3 is like in Link to the Past, you'll see like early pendant dips done sometimes. There's just so much to do in SMZ3, like you never see them. It's like all the bad seeds are just like there's one item in a pendant, and this is kind of how they always play out, which is, I'm not a fan of that particular quote unquote feature of SMZ3 where it's just like put something in a pendant and the seed's automatically bad. It's really hard to sniff them out in this.
Yep.
Whereas in Link to the Past, it's like, well, I have all this stuff, like...
Well, I think, again, the logical chains are diluted a little bit.
Yeah, because everything's diluted. Like, I had... Even on the SM side, I had one that was screaming Lower Norfair because I had Gravity, Varia, and Space Jam, which just ended up being nothing. So, like, SMZ3 is a lot easier to red herring, so, like, the SMZ3 players tend to, like, follow the clues a little bit. Like, there's still definitely a seed reading and just, like, kind of, like...
Yeah.
I think it's less seed reading for SMZ3 and more like... I think it was going for Icebreaker, yeah. Without the... It's so normal to do. But,
yeah.
What was I saying?
I didn't even process that, like, because it looked normal, and then he was not there anymore, and so it was slightly confusing. But also, you were talking, and that's confusing.
Yeah, it is very confusing. But yeah, I was saying SMZ3 tends to be less like about the seed reading because again, everything's diluted and you can possibly
Look at that boy. However.
Yes, very good. The only person who can do it.
What
even
a
though we've seen
gamer.
Maniacal do it already.
It's only cheating if you can't do it.
That is correct. Does that mean like EG's not cheating because I can do it?
No, it does not apply.
No. But yeah, it's less about seed reading and it's more just about like managing risk and like downside risk and everything. Like I said, like even though like Meridia is like this big area, right? It's like if you do it, you're committed to the whole thing, and if it's nothing, then you've lost a bunch of time. So the way you look at the seeds, I think, is a little different. Like there is still seed reading, but I think that happens a little bit more. Not so much like for your last item. It's pretty hard to read the seed just because like it could just be anywhere. Like there's so many seeds where it's just like there's nothing behind mitts, just because again everything is a little bit diluted.
Yeah, so Andy feeling the full force of the pain here. I mean, doing exactly the right thing here, but
I'm surprised Andy remembers these rooms.
Yeah, well, I mean, the real
apparently not because he just walks right into that spike.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the real issue here is like the best thing about Icebreaker is not even getting to skip ahead the dungeon and save on some of the rooms. It's that your odds of having the keys you need to route some of these harder to get to rooms more efficiently is just way higher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's full clearing Ice Palace. Before Icebreaker, Ice Palace is one of the dungeons that like players really like to put off because go moding it was just so much faster than full clearing it.
Now, if you have Samaria, I mean, I would argue it's at worst sort of a medium.
Yeah, it's
dungeon
not.
With Samaria.
Icebreaker definitely changed the meta around Ice Palace a ton. It also used to be the thing that you would like. It was pretty meta to never sequence brace fake flipper to Ice Palace, just because like flippers could be like the last thing you get, everything right, and because it was so slow, Icebreaker has changed that. You will see the fake flipper to Ice Palace a lot more now,
absolutely,
especially in SMZ3. Like we fake flipper to Ice Palace all the time, and no one blinks.
Yep. So Maniacal going to be finishing up his Desert Palace here very shortly. Will even things up momentarily with that clear. Andy will then obviously, be ahead the Ice Palace clear. Andy did finish Swamp too, I think.
We're all so very tired at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long, hard week.
It has been a long, long week. Yeah, I could not imagine playing this game right now. I'm kind of glad I'm over here.
Honestly, the fact that we're all vertical is a testament to our gaming prowess.
There's been 3 or 4 times I've considered putting my head down on this table, but I'm regretting the camera being here all of a sudden.
The crowd does have the luxury of achieving like a 45-degree angle.
I wish we could get a shot of the crowd because they're all in various.
I'm very jealous of the ability to recline.
The best way to describe the crowd right now is they've assumed the crash position. So.
So one boss going down as Andy drops into another.
Just to be really straightforward with as well equipped as Andy is.
Yeah, I mean with the butter sword, it's three slashes and
you don't even bother for poke dash strat.
It's basically just a kind of a free fight.
Yeah, you can see how quick the cutscene there is for the.
Yeah, that's insanely fast. It's like there's just no animation attached to it.
No.
I think that's even faster than the pendant.
Yeah, it's definitely faster than the pendants too.
So where's Andy going now?
We got to be doing pendants now. Like,
well, it looks like we're actually going to go to Pyramid. And
Pyramid.
Catfish.
Yeah. We did see Zora though, at least from Andy earlier.
We did.
Did we see from Maniacal too? I would think going to Waterfall before Ice Palace would be the smarter thing to do.
I don't.
Not that this is sort of
remember.
wrong. I mean, doing a dungeon first is never the wrong answer, but again, if you get the cane there, then you get the go mode icebreaker, ice power, which is just gonna be really quick, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's one of those truisms. Just like go to where the item is the fastest. Like.
Yep. No, I mean, so this pyramid location is one of those real feels bad.
Oh.
Is that the mushroom?
Yeah, that is the mushroom. Okay. Speaking of which, we never saw.
So we're definitely going to catfish now because.
Yeah, we can just do this on the way.
with I mean, if there was any doubt that you were going to do that before with the
the
mushroom, you're 100%.
I think we did see the shovel. Did we ever see powder?
No.
No. Yeah, that has just been kind of forgotten about. It's one of those things. Powder's one of those things that like, or magic bat check at least. Especially when we don't have the. Oh, I was hoping anyone was gonna do it the right way. You can actually mirror on the bush there to get the mirror bonk, which is the fastest way of doing these screens. That's like the hardest. I've never gotten that spin speed for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Well,
Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna. Yeah, Annie's got a pretty commanding lead at this point. I believe all he has to. Oh, he's got to do. Not Meyer. Just has to do Turtle Rock.
Yep, and
Ganon
with
and
fast
Mother Brain.
Ganon as well.
And he's got charge beam, so he does- yeah.
There's, I mean, he's pretty well set up to just rock and roll to the end of the game.
He's in
there.
a pretty commandy lead.
Well, as his #1 Fandy, you are
Excuse
certainly
me. I'm
one
at
to talk
best-
about it. So
I'm at best his number like 74th fan. At best.
but you wish you were #1.
Yeah, well, he's already. We all can't get a ring, okay? So. Man, it's just not throwing them out.
Maybe if you paid more attention to him, you would get. Maybe if you called.
Who calls anyone?
I don't know.
I can't call the doctor without having a panic attack,
true.
much less Andy.
That's true.
Yep. So Andy heading into Turtle Rock, going to be with in both games he's pretty kitted out. Really, I think the only item we could possibly find anywhere that would speed us up is Ice Beam. Yeah, because that would give us full beam, and ice. It makes the Metroids a little faster. Besides that, we got bow. We've got silvers. Yeah, literally Ice Beam is the only thing we could possibly want.
Well, we do have Laser Bridge, and
You're not gonna check anything extra for it. Well, no, Ice Beam does help with a little bit.
Laser
I
Bridge
wouldn't
is fast, and obviously if you're wishing you had it, you're hoping that you're short a small key.
Yeah. Well, the other
Right?
thing is it could just be in GT, and again, we mentioned this, because we tend to do the like, oh, there's one item that can speed me up. I'm gonna do some checks on the way. That tends to happen less, just because it is so much less likely.
Sure.
That so honestly, I don't think we're gonna see any. I mean, we'll see Laser Bridge tracks until he gets the key.
I will say that out of all the rooms, by the way, that make me appreciate the fact that SMZ3 did not go down the quick swap rabbit hole, it's that room in TR, because I feel like that room has just lost all of its skill and allure.
Why don't you just still pause in that room?
Because it's faster to let the thing go around and quick swap to hookshot and hookshot up to the torch instead of.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit less savings on the screen, but it
Right.
without the menu, it's faster.
For a second, I
so.
thought people with quickswap were just not hookshotting at all
No,
for some reason. I was like,
no,
we could
no,
still
no.
pause. It's not like you can't
no,
pause.
no, not at all. But it's just that's. There are many screens that I think are actually more interesting with quick swap. That's one that I think got just less interesting and less skillful.
Yeah.
With quick swap.
Yeah, that's why I'm against quickswap, because it's just like it changes the game so much. Like, stuff like that. You have to completely relearn and everything. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different game. We're talking about, a game that doesn't have quick swap right now, and we're talking about quick swap. But, I think when I look at those kinds of changes, I've been converted a little bit.
No.
Well, no. I mean, I believe in maintaining
At
the
2 emo.
Yes, but I believe in, I think there's a lot of important skills that should continue to be emphasized. But I think that the reason I've come around on quick swap is that it adds as many new skill opportunities as ones that it takes away or changes. And so I think there's some very cool quick swap room
Sure,
tech
and
that has been developed, and I think that
my main thing for
that makes it
SMZ3
interesting.
is we've raised the skill ceiling by adding another entire game, so
And I
we
think
don't
that-
need to
yeah.
raise it anymore, right?
I think that that's a totally, you know, valid thing. I'm just saying that's why I've
Sure.
sort of come around on it, because I think it's when it first came out, it honestly just felt like the entrance rando players had corrupted everything, and
Sure.
you know, but I've come around on it.
Just shaking my SMH over here.
I'll still blame the entrance rando players for a lot of stuff, but
Well,
but I think
and
but I think that you
there's
know,
the flute.
I think that quick swap is fine.
The ye old flute effort, it doesn't matter. That thing's never getting turned on. There's no reason to. So Annie did steal the key here. The question, like, that pyramid play is not necessarily, like, the most obvious thing to do. Like, when does
No.
Maniacal even necessarily... I mean, I guess that's kind of the most dense thing for him to do as well. So I don't like this rounding from Maniacal because he still has Catfish, right? Like, why don't you just go do that routing and then just mirror and do this stuff after Catfish? Yeah.
Yep.
I think the reason he didn't do that is because it's what, like 12:20 now or something like that.
Could very well
After
be,
again,
yeah.
like playing in a game for a very long. It's not 12:20. What time is it?
It's 12.
Oh, 12:40.
40. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's the main reason. It's just very late.
Andy has a key. He is checking Laser Bridge. So you know,
just for ice. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Oh, I mean, again, if it wasn't fast Ganon,
Yeah.
I don't think you check those necessarily, right? Because you got a ton of opportunities in GT if you choose to go there first to try and pull the ice beam, right? But I think that in a world where we have fast Ganon, right, there are no he's not checking anything
The
else.
problem is ice
and
doesn't
those are
save you
fast.
that much anyway. Like, I mean, it is faster. Well, it probably saves you a good 20 to 30 seconds, honestly. So, yeah, it's pretty big.
I think he at least made that come out to be a wash, right? If he had gotten it there, at worst it would have been a wash, and I think it would have been a savings when you consider all the metrics.
No, if he got it there, it definitely would have been a savings.
Yeah.
But it's so low probability that, yeah, I'm surprised. Because, like, he just has if there was more, if he didn't have, like, high jump, if there was more things he could have pulled,
Sure.
then sure, right. But the fact that just literally only one. So, I mean, we're arguing about the details here. Andy is still... Oh, that's why the Maniacal caught up so much. He never did any Village of Outcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because remember the race had really tightened there for a little bit.
Yep.
What? Oh, ice beams on Trinex.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Literally nothing now. So we have everything we could ever want. This is going to be really fast Ganon, really fast Mother Brain. And, yeah, so Andy's going to finish around, looks like he's going to finish around like a 2:24, something like that. Like about 8 minutes for Turian, 2 minutes for Ganon.
Yeah, and the rough thing for Maniacal here is, you know, are you now going to go into Thieves Town?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Maniacal's just kind of got lost. I mean, the pyramid is... The thing is, so with pyramid, like, at least for me, like, when I play just Link to the Past, I never know when to do it. And the way I tend to like to do it in combo is I do Pyramid, Catfish, Meridia. And Maniacal's already done Meridia, right? I think he did do Front of Escape, so sometimes you can combo in a Pyramid with the mirror, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you're never
but-
going to get... obviously, Pyramid Fair is never going to be a thing with Turtle Rock Red Crystal, so it's like, I never know when to check Pyramid. It just feels like such a gross... There's things it can combo in with, but when Pyramid's just hanging out by itself, like it's...
Well, especially, I mean, when
For
it's
me,
not,
at least.
it's not even just Pyramid. It's Pyramid to Mushroom, you know, right over there, because that's the chain that he
Yeah,
needs
but
to
like if
follow,
you're doing...
so.
Because he hasn't done I feel like Pyramid plus Catfish just makes too much sense. And then obviously it's just on the way at that point, so I don't really think it changes anything.
Sure.
I find once you find the mushroom, I think your next thing to do is mushroom no matter what, because
Sure.
you were probably going to Catfish anyways. Honestly, the only question left is if Andy's going to finish before Michael finds the cane. So that's actually, this is
It could very easily
both-
happen. I mean, because if he's going to do this, maybe Skull as well.
both the online and the in-person SMZ3 came down to who got the cane. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's going to be a real quick Ganon fight for Andy, unless he
Andy-
takes it back to the face. All right.
Andy opting to go for the bonus spin despite being about to pump 4 silvers
Yeah.
into him, which is
That and also like deciding to like try to Highlander him by standing directly in front of the bat. Nope. This is a almost 1 AM Ganon if
Yeah.
I've ever seen one from Andy.
a little bit loose.
Yeah, I think Andy is probably most excited. Win or lose, he's most excited that there is only 8 minutes left of him having to play SM or any Link to the Past or SMZ3 for a little bit.
I think there's certainly a good chunk of that.
Yeah. I
Going
mean,
on
we all love these games, but 4 days straight of them can be a bit much.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what you're saying. It's when you're a gamer, you just gotta play even more.
You just got a game.
This is why you throw hard like me. That we have an actual vacation.
It's an option.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to let you say what you just said and pretend to let you believe that it's true.
Okay. I did throw, which is unintentional.
Unintentionally throwing is not throwing. It's just losing.
Okay, Miss 3-0-3.
I didn't throw. I got randoed.
All right, so Andy heading down to his mother brain. Maniacal gonna be pulling off this blind fight.
Oh, you guys skipped the cutscene as well?
Yeah. And mother brain. That's also a SM random thing. The mother brain stand up's gonna be fast as well.
Okay.
Which really throws you off sometimes till you get used to it. Yeah, and thank God, just like these seeds are so long, it's just like anything
Oh,
to
no,
speed
no,
up the end here is.
I think it's great. It's always interesting to like notice these little
Well,
things.
I did say ice speeds up these rooms. We have to actually hit the Metroids with ice.
I think when I'm watching SM players, I think that when you get a really, really, really good set of Metroid rooms where people are really, really on top of the grouping strats and stuff, I think they're some of the most satisfying rooms to watch.
They are some of the most difficult rooms in the entire game. I mean, Annie had a pretty quick Metroid Rooms 3 there. If you haven't really seen it, like, you might think like that was pretty impressive. Like that's what Andy does is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But compared to like the actual like top level strats, like how fast you can go through those rooms is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, again,
watching like Zenny or Cutie doing
watching
100
Cutie
strats.
with his deformed hand,
Yeah.
Is very impressive.
Whose thumb no longer works.
Yeah. Cutie is basically like Groot at the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where he just like wraps his hand around the controller and then it dies.
I think Maniacal might know where Andy is just from that that is the I threw baby skip so hard look if I've ever seen one.
Andy giving his this look.
Yeah.
Careful consideration of his gaming position right now.
I think this is the first time we are seeing the magic bat over here. Not gonna be anything useful, but. All right, so I mean, yeah, this is gonna be a really straightforward mother brain for Andy.
Yep. And, in terms of the actual finish time here, not actually that crazy, right? I mean, this is
a pretty
good finish time, I think, for these, right?
Yeah. When we before like fast Ganon, like we would say like 2:30 is like a 230 is probably like the equivalent of like a 130 in a Link to the Past, where it's like it's a good solid time that you get. I know we say it's probably more like a 120, which is a pretty fast time. And then you you take about a solid 8 minutes off of that for fast gain and really speeding up the end game.
Yeah. Andy having a little bit of trouble with the Zeb skip there, but made it through in the end. I think he had a very similar Zeb skip in his race the other night too.
I honestly wasn't paying attention to Zeb skip. I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. The mother brain just automatically stands up. So
yeah.
full beam's just going to be 20 quick shots. Don't know. We'll see how tired Andy actually is whether or not he does stand up. Many a gamer has decided to not do stand up because they are very, very tired, and they just hope it doesn't come down to 30 seconds. Maniacal is going to get that charge beam though.
Yep.
At this point, he probably knows he's certainly in trouble. I mean, it is only 220. Like, Maniacal is thinking he's either in trouble or this thing is just so buried that, this is just going to be settling in for a long one. This is an opportunity to sort of metagame right here that if, like, okay, this is either about to be over or Kane is so buried that, like, it's going to be a long one, then that's why Andy hasn't finished yet. That he has the opportunity because he thinks he might be a little behind anyways. Instead of doing these like more obvious checks, just go like, okay, time to roll the dice and do a mire or do do a pendant. But
yeah.
But it is the case that Andy is about to finish.
Yeah, I was very concerned. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be here for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. So fortunately,
it's fun. It's funny because he's so far ahead that it's not going to matter. But
so fortunately, when we did we did get the
call
save at the ship. So
I feel like I've just been here. So Emo, how many mother brain deaths is it going to take for Maniacal to get back into this game?
How many Ganon falls is one mother brain death?
Yeah, is Andy going to go? Is Andy going to go back to Ganon and fall a couple times on Ganon just to even it out? Like,
yeah. How many fly drops is one mother brain death?
I feel so terrible for Andy if he kind of senses that people are laughing in the room after he just died in mother brain. He's like, these guys are jerks. Like, what the? I'm going to lose this, and they're just laughing at me.
Yeah.
Look at that face. Look at that little punum.
He's looking real stoic.
Do I have to commentate this again? Anyways, it's real nice when you see these Metroid. Let's see if he actually shoots the ice head. Hey, there you go.
Look at
that. Okay. That one was better.
Yeah. That was some prime gaming right there. Speaking of which, did you guys know?
Don't do the spiel.
Chat room, hear me out.
No,
sorry, I'm not actually allowed to copyright infringe known gamer I ate your pie's speech on SpeedGaming. I think he put it on a website, so I'm literally legally not able to do it.
Oh, that's how it works? It's on a website?
It's when you register a domain name and put up a research paper on like things get serious.
What song should I sing then?
Why don't you sing a fourth Bengal song?
Okay. All right. Well, second chance to get baby skip right.
Yep.
Oh, much better setup. Very nice setup from Andy here. Oh, should have been. Yeah.
See, he had it, but he lost confidence.
Yeah, I think he was fine if he just went to the wall in the first one, and just, this is one of those reasons where it's like for baby skip, it's like, if you're learning this game, you kind of put it off because, like, when you miss it, you've actually wasted more time, especially if you miss it late like that.
Yeah.
Than if you just, didn't bother going for it all, and you still have to do all this stuff at the end anyways.
You gotta just believe in yourself.
You do have to
that's the thing.
Or you gotta go for counterclockwise baby skip, which is the new corrupt thing. It looks very cursed if you haven't seen
You
it.
gotta stop making excuses and execute.
Oh, God. Now you're copyright infringing.
Look, this is
We're killing time while Andy does Mother Brain 4.
I'm doing legally permissible parody. I think that's what's happening here.
It's Mother Brain 4, the search for Mother Brain 2.
Is that the one where the baby Metroid gets shot out into space at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whale is there. There with the whales.
The whales?
Isn't there the one with the whales? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about Star Trek, right?
No, we were talking about Spaceballs.
Oh.
Now who's not getting references?
It's fine. I thought you were doing the search for Spock, but you were doing the search for more money. So I get it now.
Yeah, which was a joke. Yeah, I was. Never mind.
I know. I'm just saying. We've had this happen a couple times where I've been going back to the original reference,
right?
And you've been going to the spoof, and it's because you're derivative and you gravitate naturally towards such things, and that's fine.
Hey, going for stand-up again. That is Mother Brain 5 down, so we'll be moving to the stand-up phase. Yeah, I didn't see what happened the first. It must have been like if you don't damage down fast enough, Mother Brain will Rainbow Beam again. There we go. All right. Now, as long as there's still soft lock potential, but Andy should be able to navigate most of them. We also have X-Ray, which eliminates some of the potential ones. And Maniacal is. Did Maniacal hit the? I'm mostly watching Andy here. Did Maniacal actually go to the pyramid there, or is he going back to Pod? Oh, so he did get the mushroom. Remember I said like he's definitely going to.
He's going to turn in the green pendant.
Oh, he's turning the green pendant.
Yeah, and then he's going to go dash out. If I had to guess.
Well, I've never seen somehow jumped while getting crouched animation. I haven't seen that one before.
Okay, so Maniacal is saving and quitting.
So this cutscene does progress. You do have to have the baby get hit by the onion rings here.
Yeah.
So every time Mother Brain misses, it does make the cutscene a little bit longer. Okay. It is going to be. I think this is one of the worst feelings in Rando is when you find your go mode item and like 2 seconds later your opponent .duns.
Yeah, but that's literally what we're about to see.
Yeah, it's going to be very
not quite 2 seconds, but it's going to be.
It's going to be a little over a
fairly
minute.
Shortly after. So.
Yeah. This is what happened to me in my finals match as well. That as soon as I realized, like, you know, I kind of like was playing my last cards. That was my last outs, and as soon as I was out all that, like Aussie finished like a minute later. I was like, he just put me out of my misery. I'm like, thank God. Like,
yeah. It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Andy, couple rooms away from wrapping up this SG Live tournament here.
What do we think the odds are of him dying to Steam on the way out and having to do all that again?
Well, since the Steam doesn't cause any damage, I'm going to say pretty
so
low.
0.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know these things.
No, I know you don't.
You didn't tell me that the Steam didn't do damage.
Sorry, I didn't tell you about the Steam damage in my, here's the important thing to know about SM talk we had.
Steam's very important. There's a lot of Steam, and apparently it's entirely safe.
Well, none of this Steam actually even does it. It's the Steam up top that actually will knock you back, but...
So there's actually 2 different types of Steam.
Sure.
Fascinating. Most games you get 1 type of Steam tops.
This is how you want to end?
This is how you know it's a great game.
All right, Annie is going to be finished here, which is level 230. Give him a big round of applause. The one thing I gotta say, we saw exactly the same amount of Mother Brains as we would have seen if both runners got through. So, Andy was just doing Maniacal a favor of killing his mother brains for him. So we will be getting our runners over here shortly for an interview.
Yep.
I think since I have the middle headset, we'll have them sit left and right.
Sure.
So, well, but I guess, oh, we can just do this. Yeah, all right. We'll just bring this over here. Ah.
Sure. So if we're gonna do that, then are you gonna scoot over?
Yeah,
and
now
share
I'm
to
gonna.
the right?
I will scooch. Do the scooch. Ah. You get the same treatment as Lanks with the nice wet seat. It's sweat. It's warm in here.
Check your fly.
It's
Make
up.
Okay. It's disgusting.
Why do I got to be Italian? Is that what you're asking me?
Please don't go down that road.
This is anti-Italian
Yeah, okay.
discrimination. Andy doing his congratulation handshake tour.
Yeah. Andy will now dip his left arm in the butterscotch pudding,
Yeah,
as is tradition.
as a tradition. This one would be yours, sir.
Look at that.
Maniacal, you couldn't have another not tall one to add to your collection?
Do you have
Yeah.
any idea how mad Duck is that he doesn't have one of these?
I wanted to put the Miller High Life on it so bad. You have no idea. So, GG's to both of you. It is so late. I don't even remember what happened in that seed after that mother brain incident that happened.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
So I was setting up for stand-up, and in between getting rainbow beamed and when you're actually supposed to do something, my brain just like turned off and I zoned out.
Oh, you got rainbow beam twice. Then.
Oh yeah. And then I was like, oh god, I'm supposed to be doing something right now, and then I didn't realize that I just shouldn't do anything at that point, and I damaged, and then I had like 100 in my reserves.
And you were Maniacal had just gotten his go mode by the time you finished. I don't know. So you dying was more of a comedy moment than anything, but I felt so bad if you didn't notice the crowd laughing at you dying to mother brain. You're just like, wow, this is the biggest group of jerks I've ever seen in my life.
He saw it, like he heard me like throw my controller on the table when I missed baby skip twice.
Yeah.
I missed the ball over. I did the ball over.
The
too
second
early
one
the
looked so
second
much
time.
better until it didn't.
Oh
though.
yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
why I was so mad. I was like, oh, this is the easiest part, and then I messed it up, and I was just like,
That last
my
jump will
God.
get you though.
It will. Yeah, it was more the setup jump going in, and then
the setup jump the first time got me, and then the morph
Yeah.
over the second time.
But I feel like we're all feeling the time here at this point. So, but yeah, it was a fun race. It was actually, I was kind of mentioning, kind of echoed the online final, where it was still up in the air who was going to win, but it just depended on where that red cane was. We were the Maniacal. Your main thing was if you did find red cane, it felt like your biggest possible out was coming back to Brinstar and finding the mirror, especially if you went reverse.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like you were putting that off a little bit because you did the early dips that just didn't pay. Like everything you did early just did not pay off.
Yep.
Yeah, Andy did the early Brinstar again, got the sword. That really helped him early. I mean, you guys were like neck and neck at certain points. So it was definitely going back and forth. But really fun race to watch.
Absolutely. It was hard to read in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, between I think the hammer, the mirror, and the cane were really sort of the three items that became interesting, in the end. And Maniacal, you were first to the hammer by a good margin. Andy had that mirror for a million years. And
I
then
don't even remember where the mirror was anymore.
The mirror
It was Old Mother Brain, I think.
It was
Yeah.
Old Mother,
Oh,
and that
yeah,
was the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like you went for the setup
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the glitch, and like if you had gotten that, you would have been able to Brin skip completely, right?
Yeah, and I would have probably.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably would have. It just depends on when
Well,
you run
I
into
don't know
that cane,
about
right?
Pyramid. Yeah.
Yeah, that is like when you route that in, especially with Pyramid Fairy just being a non-issue. Like I said, a lot of times I do like Pyramid to Catfish to Meridia, but you had already done Meridia. I guess that was the one issue. Like I was really surprised.
So I gotta ask, how was the TR key layout?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, was it 2 items on the right side, or was there a small key on the right side in the front?
I
It
think there
was 2 small keys and the big in the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I had to get the cane.
Oh, were you gonna? Okay,
Because,
all right.
like, I spent like an hour looking for the cane. I'm like, would it have been faster to just ignore this crap?
And just hover the thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't do the right side. And
Well,
so
yeah. I
most
think only
key-
one person's ever like
most
done
key
it in like
layouts.
in a practice ROM, never in a race or
I'm gonna
anything.
be completely honest with you. If you had done that, I would have put in the cash to buy another large trophy and given you both the large trophy, regardless of whether you actually won or not,
Yeah.
because that would have been the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen happen. So,
'cause I was go minus cane relatively early.
can you
Yeah,
imagine
once
if
you got
both of
to- I
them
mean,
did that?
yeah, that would've
I would
been-
pay cash money.
I
to
wasn't
watch
even
that.
thinking of that as a possibility,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I was just like, the key layout's probably gross. And
Yeah. No, yeah, that's definitely that's a maniacal only special. We did see a lot of failed hovers today.
We
though.
did.
Yeah,
Including the bowling alley hover, which apparently is a new one.
Oh yeah.
what?
I hovered while I was bowling to like try to get a reaction out of you.
yeah,
I did it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like really, really loudly, and then stopped. And then I found boots like not that long after that,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that you can actually, because I was joking about that. It's like the one thing your opponent can tell when you're doing is hovering.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Did you get Varia early?
Yes.
Okay.
I did Bryn into Retro into Rex Ship,
Okay.
and then I did Croc into High Jump, and then when I went to Death Mountain, I got Pearl, and I'm like, okay, with Pearl, I can, do all the Dark Worlds. Let's just clean up LN, and then leave, and then I can do Dark World into Meridia Warp, which ended up being like the worst thing ever because Hammer was from Meridia.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're full clearing Meridian no matter in this seed, no
Yeah.
matter what you come in. So
Yeah, with
it
gravity where it was, it's hard to dodge.
It just felt bad. Like,
yeah,
dude, I mean, Hammer was why I skipped Smith Chain. I skipped. That's another thing I skipped Smith Chain.
Okay. It didn't have cane.
Yeah. Back at Thieves Town. And then just finding the hammer. I dipped Swamp without hammer because I was like, I've only had bad seeds this entire week, so like icing on the cake, right?
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it felt pretty good. Like even with that hammer relatively late, it still felt like an hour that I was looking for that Smaria.
Yeah, like generally like the fast seeds are one where you have like an empty Meridia or an empty lower. Like you had to do Lower Norfair, you had to do Meridia in this one. So like finishing in like 230, well, okay, 224 plus, we'll call it. It's still pretty good for the fact that you still had to do it. Like again, like a lot of the fast seeds are just like you just skipped a whole part of Super Metroid. You still had to do all of Super Metroid. Brinstar had something, Rick Shape had something. Like there was one in like the big like 4 locations, so you had to do all of it. And we were actually hoping for the comedy special would have been Red Cane on Criteria Supers because you didn't have enough power bombs to go in. So when Maniacal finally found that, that took the comedy option off the table, unfortunately.
Sadly,
so.
I think it was just 5 arrows.
It was
I
the
think it
plus
was arrow
5
capacity.
It was arrow
Yeah,
capacity.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna do like at that point with how late I got hammer and how like early I figured Maniacal got it. If it was at Smith Chain, I was probably losing. So I was gonna go just kill Mother Brain after Catfish and then do Shaft on my way up.
Can't
You
do that.
can't because you
can't.
can't open the power bomb door and.
Yeah.
Well, you could just transition and then that resets the
Oh
state.
yeah. You
Where you
can
can-
transition and go back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you gonna get power bombs from?
You are drained.
You know what? That's fine. Tired brain would
Yeah.
have
Late.
figured that out on the
Yeah.
fly.
Transition, soft reset, refill at the ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on that note, I will say, I think both of you, right, made it quite late into multiple tournaments, and watching you guys go through the frankly pretty brutal, schedule late into the night, playing multiple nights in a row. So the fact that you're both vertical right now and we're able to even begin to approach this, I think, deserves some kudos. But I would ask both of you, like, with regard to that, how do you think that did that play into how you guys were feeling tonight and the way that you were playing? I mean, because I would be dead, so.
Yeah, I've been tired all day.
Yeah.
And I slept a lot
Yeah.
to make up for yesterday. Yeah, like I couldn't stop yawning before the start, and I was like, I gotta wake up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somehow.
We were we have them. One of the ones with the mics, and we were just like trying to like stifle it the entire
Yeah.
time. So But yeah, I think on that note, I think we're gonna have Tracy come up and talk about just. I mean, is there anything else you want to? I've just cutting you guys off, but I know we're all tired, so.
No.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
The mother brain death summed up exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
I got some licks in on you on that one, so.
I could hear. I couldn't hear you specifically, but I could hear everybody laughing.
Yeah.
Including myself.
Yeah.
I was like, amidst all the anguish in that chair that I felt, I was also laughing a little bit on the inside.
Yeah, the laughter was not timed with events on my side of the seed, and so I was like, pretty sure I know how this is going.
The joke involved the phrase "Mother Brain 5" has been successfully killed. So, but
That'll
yeah,
always get you. But yeah, not too much else that I want to say. Just GG to Andy.
Yeah, GG's.
Yeah.
Feel lucky to have even earned a split in our series that we've played across tournaments the past couple days.
Yeah,
So-
I'm glad tonight was just as quality as last night was.
Yeah.
Last night was also something.
yeah,
But yeah, GG's.
Yeah.
In the top 4 in both tournaments is
Yep.
wild.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So
As Duck and Emo have said, it was very fatiguing. But
Yeah.
you know,
I'm starting to feel it as
that's
well.
not me legitimately complaining. That would be a
No,
bizarre
no, no,
thing to
no.
do.
I
But it was a lot of fun.
I think this is just something for everybody who's watching at home, right? Just know, like, you know, as impressive as what these guys, you know, showed you tonight is, I think if you knew how tired they've been and how grueling the schedule is, it's doubly impressive. Like, everybody who's made it to this stage in these things has really gone way above and beyond to make it happen. So thank you guys for doing that, and GG's again to both of you.
yeah. And so I think we're gonna have Tracy, the admin of the tournament, come up and have a few words.
All right.